pee as fast as I can. I will be back in 1 minute.
Have a minute.
Welcome to Haunted Hangover Live. I'm Louie, and I'm joined by Manny.
Yep.
And for the first time during a live episode, we've got a special guest. Both of us have known this dude quite some time. Right, Manny?
It's just 12, 13 years at least.
This dude's been podcasting, OG, long time. Hank from Death by DVD. Welcome, sir.
Believe it or not, Hank was actually my twin cousin that was tragically murdered on the air.
Really?
Yeah, I'm his identical cousin, Harry Scott Sullivan. You can hear all about it. It's called Who Shot Hank at deathbydvd.com. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. And I've been doing this long enough that the word podcasting wasn't around. We were just internet radio. So I'm happy to finally join the digital world and be on Alive with a fantastic show. Like you guys said, I've known both of you forever. I've been in one of Manny's movies, and it was my first on-set experience, actually, and it was fantastic. One of my fondest memories. We have a documentary together that I think might be coming out sometime soon. Maybe Manny can talk about that later. But again, I'm very happy to be here, and thank you both so much for having me at the Hangout.
Hank, I meant to ask you. So you mentioned before, like you were podcasting before it was a podcast. What was that platform? I remember when I listened to you guys. This is 100 years ago. This is a long time ago. What was that? There was like a platform you used to be able to like upload podcasts. I don't even think they exist anymore. I forget what it was called. Do you know what I'm
They
talking
actually
about?
went under about a year or two ago. They were called Blog Talk Radio.
Blog Talk. Yeah. Are they still around? Is that even a thing anymore?
They finally have, I think, liquidated, and anyone that had old shows, they're gone. But they weren't even, you had a phone and you could call into a number that they hosted, and eventually became a pay for platform. So you paid for the server to call in, and that's what we used until 2019, where finally there was just too many complaints about the audio, and we decided, hey, let's try out what these kids are doing, and got ourselves some microphones, and then recorded terrible episodes up until maybe the last like year or so. Now we have some great guests and really try to preserve horror history and all sorts of weird stuff, and it's been a blast. 16 years of bad movie reviews. Wouldn't have it any other way.
And if you and you kind of described it there. You described Death by DVD, basically 16 years of bad movie reviews. I wouldn't say your reviews are bad, or do you mean the movies themselves are bad?
Both. Both.
Yeah, column A, column B.
a little bit of both. But yeah, for the listeners of Haunted Hangover, a little more about Death by DVD. Give us a breakdown. What is Death by DVD? Because again, you review movies, but like you said, you guys do some like narrative fiction stuff. So break it down for us here.
Our tagline was always ripped off from another movie, but Death by DVD when watching is never enough. Our whole goal is to go above and beyond to expose our audience and not just tell them about, hey, this is a movie you should watch, but give them some history about who the people are, what they stand for, why they made films, and the importance of things like anti-censorship and horror and the art aspect of horror. And throughout horror's history, it's something I think that's been treated very unfairly and somewhat treated like pornography. And it's a very serious, beautiful form of art. And I think a lot of that's underlooked, and some of it's very bad, but we love to celebrate the likes of people like Don Doler on Death by DVD are treated like a champion and a god. Of course, the late great Roger Corman. And then we have done some audio dramas that, honestly, my twin cousin Hank, we miss him so much. We killed him live on the air to progress into a new era, and it's a fully narrative audio drama that may or may not be, there's rumors, I deny them, was voiced completely by me and written by me, but it actually happened. And I wanted to kind of go back in time to an era, I think even before all of us, where you could listen to narrative horror stories on the radio, and wanted to create something like that. So we've got a lot available, all at which and more is at deathbydvd.com. Most of it's for free. And like everybody, I've got a Patreon, but we can do a sales pitch another day. That's not a.
We'll save that for the end of the episode. We'll do the
Do the ad pivots at the end. Yeah,
we'll do the ad pivot at the very end of the show. Yeah, man, it's cool. That's kind of cool that you were able to kind of shift from reviewing movies, which can become, taxing. Just I can't, for 16 years. I can't imagine just reviewing horror movies and exploitation movies and shit for that long. But it's cool that you were able to shift to kind of, putting together a script and maybe reading it and, making a shift in that direction.
I have to say, I listened to it when it was on, and I listened to a lot of audio dramas in general, and not for nothing, forget the fact that we're friends with him. I know him. It is actually extremely well done. Like and I've worked with people in my own movies that worked on podcasts and audio drama. Again, I work with some of the No Sleep podcast people, which is one of the biggest audio drama podcasts out there. And the quality that he put into this is like on par of that. And I remember when it came out, and every episode it went out, I told him I'm ridiculously impressed at how well it, like, not like surprised, but just like, holy crap. Like, this was a lot better than, like, I knew what it was going to be because I hear a lot of these things, like you listen to them on YouTube and stuff like that. I was actually ridiculously impressed at how good everything came out, the quality of the sound, the music, and the fact that he did it all himself. That alone, I'm like, how the fuck this didn't just like go viral, just for the fact that it's one person doing all of it is really impressive. So and that was years ago. That was 6-7 years ago that he did that, and I'm still like, I remember how good it was. So
wow, Hank, some praise there from Manny.
Seriously, like,
how's that make you feel, man?
Not just because he's my friend. It's genuinely very well produced.
How's that make you feel?
If I had done it and it wasn't an all real thing, it really was a feat to try and get it done. And most of it was just, I try to bring this up a lot on Death by DVD, and encouragement for a future generation of filmmakers of, no matter how ridiculous the idea is, just follow through with it and do it. And if it comes down to you buying your very first synthesizer and teaching yourself how to do it because you've got this idea in your head, just follow through with it. And 700 people might listen to it, and that's whatever, but that's 700 people. And that goes out for so many people also in the podcasting world, because I think you can get very jaded trying to create something and not having that audience for it. And whether it's 7,000, that's really cool that you finished something. And that's kind of, if I had done all this, if it wasn't a true real thing, it is something I look back on and hope I can do something like that again.
That's awesome, man. I've got to check it out. I'm guilty. Did not listen to it yet, so shame on me.
Like 7 hours. It's the problem too is I also recently learned what the word kayfabe means.
You're obviously not a wrestling fan. I'm guessing if you didn't know.
I've been learning a little bit about it here and there.
That's hilarious that you just learned what kayfabe means. That's so good. lifelong wrestling fan. I knew that at the age of 3 years old, which is kind of crazy to think. But yes. Now, Manny, I know you wanted to talk about something here. But
speaking of ad pivots.
Yeah, speaking of ad pivots, I know you wanted to talk about something here at the top of the show before we go into the main topic.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to let everybody know there's a new series that just came out today. It's on Screenbox. It is Screenbox's first original series. It's called The Trouble with Tessa. And literally today, Tuesday, July 15th, is the first 2 episodes just went up. I believe it's 8 episodes total. It is about a disgraced documentarian named Tessa who goes to hide at this cabin in the mountains in this small weird little town where there's like no cell phones and all these weird rules and stuff. And in the house that she rents, she finds a box of tapes and starts looking through them, and there's security footage. It's weird security tapes, and one of them appears to have caught a murder. And being a documentarian by trade, she's going to dive into this and, take it from there. So that's what the show is about. And a couple of really good friends of mine, Dennis Kahlo and Bethany Watson, are the writers, directors, producers of this. They shot this entirely like around their house, in their yard, in the woods behind their house, and in their town, locally, upstate New York, in the Sleepy Hollow, what is that area?
Oh,
I can't
Sleepy
think
Hollow,
of.
you say?
It's not Sleepy Hollow.
Terrytown.
It's that
Right next to it?
area,
Yeah.
that area where the killer was.
Yes.
Yeah, up in that area. I can't remember the actual name of their town, but it's shot in New York, and it was on a shoestring of a budget that them and their friends and everybody got. They shot it literally last October. They spent a whole month putting everything they have into this series, and here it is finally premiering on Screenbox. Again, Screenbox first original series. Screenbox produced it. Like they actually, so it's huge achievement for them. I've been screening, for a long time with Dennis and his films at film festivals for years. So it's really cool to see him having this out there. And I just want to tell everybody to go watch The Trouble with Tessa.
Gotta check it out. I gotta check it out too. Sounds interesting.
Screenbox exclusive.
I've got Screenbox, so I'll definitely. It was just released
today. Yep. First 2 episodes went up today.
Time of this live. Nice.
Yep.
All right.
It even stars. He's in it. I believe Dennis is in it. I believe Bethany's in it at some point. And one of the main stars is Casey Hartnett from Terrifier 2.
Okay.
The girl that gets killed in the bedroom.
Oh yes.
She's in this as well. So a few other recognizable indie names off the top of my head. That's the first one I can think of. So everyone check out The Trouble with Tessa.
Support indie horror filmmakers. So getting on Screenbox, that's always
amazing.
Got to give them a little clap there. That's
I'm hoping to see him in 2 weeks ago. I'm going to take him to dinner and celebrate.
No, that's cool. Listen, man, that's awesome. That really is awesome just to see like people working hard to get their shit out there and get seen by whoever. Listen, Screenbox, Shudder. Those are pretty popular
they
horror
did the whole work. Like
streaming apps.
They pitched this and went out there and Screenbox picked it up when it was just a script.
That's awesome. That's really cool. That's awesome.
So,
now, main topic time.
To the topic at hand.
Main topic time. This was one we've wanted to do for a while. We were going to do, because honestly, a lot of times Manny and I will come up with an episode for these lives. A lot of times, you guys know, it's usually horror film based. And we've got a long list of different types of episodes we want to do. And I'm always like, you know what? Can't blow your load in one episode. So I was like, you know what? Hank is the man to have on to do this topic. That is movies, horror movies that we love, that most people hate.
Yeah. If there's anyone who has watched as many obscure, unknown movies and loved them as we have, he would be one of them. Although from my list, it seems like he didn't go very obscure this time.
Yeah, Hank,
That's fine.
Hank, I was expecting some deep cuts from you. I was actually surprised as well.
It took me a long time, and I ended up having a bit of anxiety over the whole project. My list was like 700 movies, and it's just like, this isn't acceptable. You've got to narrow this down. And I really didn't want. My goal was to pick something that I think everyone right now accessibly could find and watch after listening to this and watching this and go, okay, and maybe justify my picks. And I do believe everything we're going to talk about is widely available on streaming if you have the internet at least. And it has been, I've watched a handful of these movies over again, and it's been really weird because I'm glad I didn't do some of the things I thought I was going to do and go so far out.
So maybe in a few months or so, weeks, whatever, well, the three of us will come back, do this again with some more obscure stuff. Maybe we three of us do this regularly, and we pick some really obscure shit and educate some people out there, some movies that they haven't seen.
I think
they'll probably hate.
Maybe. I think
they'll probably hate.
Yeah,
but we love.
Of the 6 movies, I think I picked, funny enough, my second pick when I get to it. I picked the one movie that I think is out of print. Yeah. It's not streaming anywhere legally. It is on YouTube. And when I get to it, I'll explain. And it's a really shitty rip on YouTube.
God, is it? I watched it.
It is a horrible. It was like uploaded 15 years ago at like, I don't even know what P that is. It's which one?
That's 360, but that's no 360.
There's no way it's 360. I couldn't even tell you. It's like a DVD rip and then compressed, and then I don't know what the hell that is.
Oh man, I don't know what they did to that.
Yes, it looks like shit.
They took that copy, they beat it with a stick,
yes,
buried it for 6 years, and then uploaded it on YouTube 10 years ago, and it's been degraded ever since. Like every time somebody watches it, they put on a VHS filter, so every time somebody watches it, it naturally gets worse.
It just looks like complete.
It just gets worse. The YouTube version gets worse every time it gets another view.
I think if you have a couple drinks beforehand, it'll get remastered somehow just by the jarbled mess.
You know what? I was gonna have. We'll talk about it when
we'll get to it. All right, so that's enough. Yeah, it's enough bullshit. We're gonna spoil the pick at this point. We just continue. All right. Usually we start with the guest. But we're changing it up because
we already covered the guest.
Not the guest. We start not. You know what I mean? You threw me off there. Yes, we usually start with our guest.
Dan Stevens, everybody.
Yes. Oh man.
Good night, everybody.
That was good, Manny. We usually start with our guest, but we're switching it up because Manny's first pick. I would say more people, and I'm going to let you get into it, but I would say more people appreciate it now. It's kind of like the Halloween 3 effect. Appreciate it now than they did when it came out, whatever, with 20 something years ago. But yeah, Manny, take it away. Start
well,
us.
I'm going to start with first by looking at it.
Okay.
From all the movies that are picked, this one has the lowest average rating on Letterboxd.
Really?
This has a 1.9 average.
What?
People hate this movie. And
really?
They do. And
terrible.
The one that and the movie that you picked that you're saying is the most has a 2.7.
Really?
Yes.
It's getting people enjoy it more.
We are talking Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows. This has a 1.9 on Letterboxd.
I can't believe.
Fuck those people.
I cannot believe that that has a worse rating than my second pick.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous.
Your second pick is a 2.7. Has almost an entire point over it.
I would have honestly, when I was choosing my picks, I thought my second pick would be one of the worst. Because when I looked, I was like, oh, this is pretty low. But I didn't look at Blair Witch. I thought it would, at this point in 2025, I thought it'd be bumped up a little bit,
Yeah. Nope.
But yes, Manny.
I had another pick for another movie, and I had 2 other picks that I was debating on. Only one of them is lower than this, and it was a 1.7. But I'm gonna not mention that.
Save that one for the future.
Yeah. The other two that I was doing, so this one's a 1.8. This one has a 1.8. Excuse me. This one has a 1.9. The other film I wanted to pick was a 1.8. The others were 1.7. So those twos are but they're still well-known films. We will cover those in the future.
Yes.
But right now, Blair Witch 2. What is wrong with you people who hate this movie?
I don't want to ever suggest that bullying is the answer. Well, I don't want to ever suggest that bullying is the answer. A little bit later, I'm going to get on Letterboxd and really start picking on some people because that's baffling to me why this movie. I mean, I can say my defense, nostalgia-wise, is a big reason I love this movie. But beyond that, it's still not even that fucking bad. What's your problem with the movie?
I don't know. I am personally. I was for a long time really obsessed with Blair Witch. I have a Blair Witch. I had the Stickman tattooed on the back of my neck. I have I've brought props. I have the Blair Witch photo journal. And this is the first movie done in photos. I couldn't find it. I have it, but I do have. This is the Blair Witch dossier.
Oh, I have that one still.
I have the Blair Witch dossier.
Too.
I have.
Nice.
I couldn't find it, but I have Heather's journal. I have a copy of Heather's journal that was published. This is the Blair Witch book series that was written by Heather's cousin and all the other stories of people who contacted him.
I love how the family. I love how in the lore the family starts writing books after they went missing.
Beyond Blair Witch, these are true ghost stories that inspired the Blair Witch. Okay, and this is the Blair Witch Book of Shadows, which was a companion to this movie. And it has the notes from the documentary and the book that they're writing in it. Look at that. Look at this. This is, how could you not love the amount of detail that they put into this? This is incredible. This was viral marketing before viral marketing. Look, Kim Director, her fucking, look at this. Look at this. 3 teens. Look
Man,
at
you're really selling Blair Witch too.
Dude,
I do want to point out Michael George in the chat just said, boo, no, I hate Blair Witch 2, LOL.
He can fuck himself too.
Go home, sir.
He said he hates. Listen, Manny is not wrong. I mean, now knowing that the rating is so low on Letterboxd, I'm like, yeah, people really do it. I thought that this movie had like a resurgence.
You could go bully some people too, right?
No.
Apparently, it's a fucking fan club meeting of Blair Witch 2 here that we are the 3 consecutively. I mean, and that is something unique about this episode is all 3 of us were like, no, Blair Witch 2, we have to talk about the movie because
look at that. The tour questionnaire that they had to fill out in order to get on the Blair Witch tour. Okay.
I believe the Blair Witch video game at the time was the last thing too to reference Blair Witch 2. And since
there's the video game. There they are, right there. I have the video game right there.
There we go.
There's the video game.
Beautiful.
All 3 of them.
Manny, you've proved your fandom for Blair Witch. Manny has pulled out every single. You know what you're missing? That CD, Josh's Mix. You remember that? That's not really part 2.
I have that. I do have that. The official soundtrack.
Yes.
The first time I ever heard Lydia Lunch in my entire life was on that soundtrack. And
I have that.
The second movie soundtrack was the first time I heard Queens of the Stone Age.
And the second movie soundtrack was on the other side of this disc.
Yes, on the fucking oh my god, I forgot about that with the original.
Wow.
But there was still the CD print of it too, and that summer I was obsessed with it. It was my everything. And
yes, Mike, I played the game.
I mean, I loved the first one equally, but this movie was it progressed me into a different style of music and goth culture. And I mean, I'm a little bit younger, so I was like 13 when this movie came out. So it was really big to me. It was Queen of the Stone Age rated R. What was Feel Good Hits of the Summer? I'd never heard of
System of a Down's on the soundtrack. I forget what song is
really
it?
System of a Down too. It's all of it. There's a weird rap song by some guy named like Mac the Truck or something. There's some stinkers
POD is on it, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Josh's Van Mix. Or
we're talking about the Van Mix, or we're talking about Blair Witch 2 soundtrack.
Blair Witch 2. Oh, this had Poe on it and Marilyn Manson and oh my god,
Disposable Teens. But the Josh's Van Mix from the original movie had Lydia Lunch and a few other really.
Typo Negative, I think, was on there too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think.
And again, just Manny had pointed viral marketing before viral marketing, and that is an absolute true statement with it, because even though you can have the naysayers, and I can be this way sometimes, where I'll give Cannibal.
Naysayers are going to say nay.
Exactly. Yeah, set it up, baby. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I love this. But I mean, sure, you got like Cannibal Holocaust did it first, but nothing did this a type of advertising. Blair Witch was so beautiful with itself, and the sequel was set up that way. It was all over. There were commercials. It was very poignant, and then it just I don't know. It was maybe too static X-y is the only thing.
It was too new metally. It was a new metal movie.
First fucking concert I ever went to was a Static X show, so I got no fucking problem with it being Static X.
Rest in peace, Wayne. We all miss you so very much.
Listen, those first like those first two Static X albums are pretty good. So
I was listening to Push It earlier today, so I'm a Static X fan. Is maybe the problem with the people. It does have a very dated air of that era. But what's funny is, people look back on the 60s and the 70s and they love that about movies, and maybe people just don't want to admit that's what the early 2000s were like and how people acted. I don't know if it's that sort of problem.
Yeah.
I think
Mike says they did a new Blair Witch game.
I played
Xbox
half
and
of
PS.
it.
I didn't play that.
Yeah,
my PlayStation's been in a box for years. I don't play games anymore.
I've not played a video game in like 15 years.
I played half of it. It's basically you're going to you actually have a dog with you. Like the dog does stuff, and I played I didn't beat the whole thing. It's kind of entertaining, but I got stuck at one part and just gave up. Back to Blair Witch 2. I think, and I remember going. I have a funny memory. I remember having my father take me to go see Blair Witch 2, and he was like, why did he hate? I think he fell asleep. He had no interest in what was going on, and I really wanted to see it because I loved the first one. And I think the main issue people had with it at the time, and maybe till this day, is that it's not a found footage movie. It's not anything like the first one. And I think that's people's expectations going into the sequel. They thought, okay, we're going to get more backstory. We're going to find out what the Blair Witch is, etc. Mm-hmm. And they didn't expect it to be about just a normal film, straight narrative about paranoia and obsession, etc. And the witch.
There's another book. Mm-hmm. There's another book called The Child of Rustin Parr or something. Rustin Parr is the guy who killed the kids in the basement and made them stare in the corner while he killed the other one. This movie was supposed to have been heavily based on that lore within the story, and the studio just changed it. Joe Berlinger had a whole other thing. There is another cut that's been like a work print cut that's been out. You find it like downloaded from somebody's hosting it on, like a Reddit link or something somewhere. I actually have downloaded it a long time ago, and it is very different. Somebody, I don't even know if it was the original work print, but somebody made a cut based on the work print.
I didn't even know this existed. I had no idea.
Joe Berlinger's original version of this was very, very different, and it was more about Rustin Parr. Like so there's a scene when Kim Director goes into the convenience store, and there's that guy that's just fixing the refrigerator on the floor. He's laying on the ground, and he pulls out. Now, if you notice, that's what's his name? The actor who plays that is damn it, you know him. I can't think what's his name.
I don't know his name off the top of my head.
Raynor Shine.
Raynor
Shine. No, Raynor Shine. Ventura. He's in Ace Ventura. He's in.
I know his face. I know the guy you're talking about. Yeah.
Yes. He's that actor. Why would you have an actor as well known as him in that tiny little role? Because there's more to it. He rolls out and he says, "I'm finished now," in the weirdest little way. But that's what Rustin Parr said when he came down after killing all the kids. He came down and he turned himself, said, "I'm finished now," because the witch had released him. So
yeah,
there's all, and then there's the little kids in the road. All those kids in the road are the ones that he had killed. They're the spirits of the kids he killed, And the biggest thing, and I've said this 100 times, from the original movie to the second movie, which is what hooked me when I first watched this. Something you don't notice is that in the original Blair Witch film, they go into Rustin Parr's house. Okay. But earlier in the film, they tell the story of how the house was burned down.
Yeah.
When the townspeople went up there, they burned the house down. So the house they're running around in at the end of part 1 shouldn't exist. And then when you go to part 2, they camp out in the foundation of his house. And he even says it. How could this exist? Where did this tree come from? This tree is fucking 200 years old. It would be sticking up in the middle of his
Yeah, I
living
remember that scene.
So there's a tree inside the foundation of the house that was burned down, which is the house from the end of part 1.
Well, too, you also have in lore that the footage that we are watching from the first movie was found in the ruins of that house, which so the ruins exist within this canon lore. And when you move into the second movie, I think this is something, despite the new Blair Witch claiming it has no reference to part 2, is heavily taken from this movie, is exactly where you're going, is the I don't want to call it a time travel aspect, but
I thought that's where we were going with it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a time travel aspect. I mean, I think it's really prevalent in the first movie, and where it might not be in your face, but why are they keep walking? Why are they keep walking to river? Why are they walking to the river over and over and over again? And they've moved north, they've moved south. Even after the whole map scenario is lost, that is seen again in the basement. So we know that there is some sort of like false sense of reality that these kids get lost in the woods. And that's what made the sequel to me perfect, is it was a common explanation for it, and then had a great soundtrack. And it was the first time I ever saw a very attractive goth woman in my life. And with
the both of them, Kim director and both of them.
You think your black clothes and your makeup give you power. That is, I say that to my wife all the time. I say that to this day.
Wipe that shit off your face.
Wipe that shit off your face. You think your black clothes and your makeup give you. That's literally the best line. I don't know how someone, like, I don't know if it's like a post-punk song or like one of these like industrial bands, have not sampled that yet, like in the beginning of a song.
Somebody probably has.
The Letterboxd ratings, no one wants to be the band that fucking samples Blair Witch 2, I guess. It seems like we're the 3 people that are not embarrassed by discussing this movie out loud and in public.
Nope. I will defend this movie.
Yeah.
I will defend it. Lou, you can remember even in our old apartment, I had little stickmen all over the house. Like when
you've given me stickmen. I have stickmen you've given me.
Manny
I sent you the little pin.
You gave me some in person also. Like if I'm meeting you have stickmen to give people.
I've been distributing stickmen for 25 years.
Oh my God.
I figured it was a thing with you, and I loved it. It was.
Yeah, I don't get it. I thought, now I guess I'm wrong. I thought people were kind of coming around to it, like Halloween 3. How people?
I'm shocked.
Yeah, I thought people were like, you know what, Blair Witch 2 wasn't that bad. You know, the new one that came out a few years ago, I wasn't a huge fan of it. A little soulless. It didn't have
a little
that
empty, but I enjoyed it.
I mean, I didn't hate it. It wasn't a bad movie, but
I thought it was going where Harry was just saying, where we were going toward that time travel.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, look, now they're in the house that doesn't exist, which means they're gonna get trapped in there, just like Heather did, and Josh and Mike. And I was expecting, because they're hearing while they're running around, and again, this is the newest one. When they're running around in the end, they can hear. He hears Heather's voice. I was convinced that we were going to hit a point where he walked in a room and there's Heather and she's been stuck there for 25 years.
That would have been a better ending.
Yes, that's where it was. And that is the only thing I didn't like about it, because I'm like, that is the most perfect ending, that this house that doesn't exist.
Even if it wasn't Heather, it would have been cool, since we never saw what happened to Josh, to see Josh in the corner or something.
Josh
like
just
that.
Sitting there, like,
yeah,
you know,
Mike back
as
in
far
the corner
as they're concerned,
the movie ended, same thing.
Yeah, and as far as they're concerned, it's only been like a few days. Like, it's been years to us, but them, they just got there, you know?
And they could have even used the actors aged, and that would have been fantastic, that it's just been days to them, and now they've become aged. It would have even been I mean, I like everyone said,
I wouldn't be surprised, because I remember reading that there was some drama with residuals and money. I wouldn't be surprised if they asked her to take part in that third sequel, and she said no. Because, I mean, it felt like it was tailor-made for that to happen in that third movie. But we're not 100%. Talking about the third movie. We're not talking. No. So, back to part 2.
Though. I mean, just those actors, I think they kind of got treated unfairly. And it's the original Blair Witch that they in life even now that these movies and the term and the name they didn't know what they were signing. This was some sort of student film, and I don't want to
It
point.
really was.
Well, the filmmakers got fucked too. Well, not really. They signed a contract. They made the money they made, and the
I
rest
don't
is
want to
history.
maybe this is my only risque statement for this, but I do think the creators of Blair Witch might have been a little unfair in what they told their actors and what was in those contracts, knowing that they might have gotten something a little bit more out of it. But I mean, 30 years later, I still think Heather Donahue, I can't think of everyone's name. I know it's Josh and Mike, I believe in real life. They all deserve the credit because they made the film. There would be no legacy without, especially Heather. She is just the absolute best.
Yeah. But yeah, Blair Witch 2 is great. I love it. I watch it from time to time. I will agree the soundtrack is great. I mean, when the movie came out, I remember even Matchbox released his van. I think it was Matchbox, one of the tiny car companies, Hot Wheels, one of them. I think it was Matchbox. Yeah. They released the van. Like, so they went all in on the marketing of Blair Witch 2, and it ended up just blowing up in their face because the movie flopped, made no money, critically, no one cared about it. So it sucks. I guess the three of us are the only people that would give it a good rating on Letterboxd. So
hey, guess what? One of us between all of these podcasts is now going to do a Blair Witch Halloween special featuring all of these people that clearly love the movie, because I think we could just go on for another hour, 2, 3
easily.
Yes.
Out of pure adoration. So the audience, I'm so sorry that you've met this animosity between us.
Listen. It's a great movie. I still to this day think maybe its day will come. You know, look at again. I always reference Halloween 3 because people hated that for so long. People hate for 20 years. People hated that movie, and then now there's merch and toys and masks and T-shirts, and so you know one day people will be like, "Damn, you know what? Blair Witch 2, yeah, it's a little different, but it's good."
I mean, I don't know what they're called now. The newest generation of kid is Zoomers or
I have no idea.
Something like that. Generation Z, Vitamin Z, Jesus Christ. There's going to be a new generation of new fads in the next few years where new metal and the late 90s, early 2000s is going to get really popular.
Oh, it's happening already. It's happening now. So
I'm excited. I just can't wait to see kids that look like the dude from POD, Chamber. I loved the micro braids. That look it's awful. I mean, it just looked stupid then, but I love it. I love it so much.
Jinkos and Trips, the big pants, they're all coming back again.
I mean, they made that movie Y2K, and I don't want to go off on a tangent, but that movie had a lot of references to the early 2000s. Look, it took place in the 99 to 2000. So yeah, so Slipknot and all that shit was, you know, they're always going to focus on the big bands like Korn, Limp Bizkit, Slipknot, and all that stuff. But I agree. Like Blair Witch 2 is a time capsule of, it's like anything that came out in that period, 2000 to like 2004, 5 is kind of 90, not even like 98 to 2004 is where it sort of started to die. That whole new metal, alternative metal look and vibe. Maybe that's why maybe the Blair Witch wore Jenkos. Who the fuck knows?
They even had the movie Maniacs Blair Witch. There's not even a witch in the movie, and McFarlane did 2 different versions
of the
Blair Witch figure.
Yeah. I've always wanted to get that one. I never got it then, so it's one of those grail pieces for me.
Yeah.
Mike says he loved Y2K. I do want to answer his. He says, I thought they meant the tree was physically not there earlier. How was the tree there 200 plus years later? So Rustin Parr's, his exploits when he killed the kids was in the 50s. So that tree in part 2 is there. It's clearly a good, 100, 200-year-old tree. So if this house was burned down in the 50s, there's no way this tree could be there. This tree is physically older than the house would have been. And then when they go back at the end of part 2 and they look at the footage, not even at the end, in the middle, when they look at the footage, they see that the big tree that they're standing next to in the cameras is only like a little twig.
Yeah,
it's only like a handheld, like it's just a
maybe
stick
this is the problem to the audience. Perhaps Blair Witch 2 is a thinking man's movie, and you're just not sophisticated enough to fucking
it's an intellectual film.
I will admit
like
that much. It is very confusing. The way that they told it was not very strong, and I think that's really because the way the studio re-edited things, it didn't make sense. There's also, even when you have the DVD, I know we've gone through this before, me and you, Lou, we've gone through this with The Secret of S. Revere, where there's scenes where you watch them in reverse.
Oh, the one's backward. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I was so excited. I just rebought the Blu-ray, or not Blu-ray, the old DVD about 2 years ago, and I forgot that if you flipped it upside down, you had the soundtrack. But I was so excited to do the scenes backward.
Yep. You watch scenes backwards and things change. Yeah. Yep. You play it
This was the
backwards.
best.
There's
Blair Witch
things
2 forever.
There's things
Oh.
hidden in shadows in the background. There's images that appear in the windows and in the shadows and in the shapes.
It's like the fucking director's cut of The Exorcist, where you can see
Yes.
Pazuzu popping up and all that.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's all in there. There's a whole lot of this cool stuff that's in there. And the original they originally wanted to make it a trilogy. That's why they made part 2. But the original guys, Eduardo Sanchez and I forget the other guy's name, they had already sold the
Nobody
rights.
ever remembers his name, and it's the
Daniel
funny.
Merrick.
I don't know it.
Daniel Merrick.
I was just saying, I don't know it either.
I don't know it either. Yeah.
Eduardo Sanchez and Daniel Merck. They wanted to do a trilogy because they did that first one. It was like, well, here's just the idea around it. It was meant to be just this simple, just found footage thing. We're not telling much of a story and kind of teasing people. But when it got big, they had basically sold a lot of the rights off, and the studio went and made the sequel, and it bombed so hard. This bombed so fucking hard,
Yeah, it
But
sucks.
I wish they had made part 3. I wish they'd made part 3.
I mean, it took them.
Let's not dwell on this forever.
Yeah, let's move on. Yeah, but to put a little end there, a little dead end there on
someday.
Yeah.
It's because we all agree on
Needs
this.
to happen. We all really need to vent, and this
Yes,
is
that's what it is. We all agree on this one, and I knew that this was a good place to start this episode because we're all in agreement on this one.
Blair Witch
The
2 is
others-
great.
Yes, yes.
All
Take
right.
it away, sir.
Yes. Hank, aka Harry, aka Death by DVD. You're next. What's your first film, your first horror film that everyone hates but you love?
I think it might be debatable, the horror aspects of it, but I am
Adjacent. It's adjacent. I even told you that. I was like, dude, it's horror adjacent.
I wanted to do something that I think might, and now after the shock of Blair Witch 2, I'm nervous because I didn't bother looking at the news, but I picked David Fincher's Alien 3 to put up for a little bit of defense here. I think, in my personal opinion, what audience members and Alien fans wanted for the least to say was not a depressing claustrophobic movie, but that depressing claustrophobic movie, I think, is, no matter what version you watch, articulately shot, and the acting is some of the toppest of tier in the entire series between Charles Dance, Sigourney Weaver, Charles S. Dutton, the guy from Creepshow 2, whose name I can never remember. The movie is chock filled with great people. The Tetley Tea guy is the foreman, and then the dude from Wayne's World 2 and With Nail and I, who has the greatest accent on the planet. He is Aaron 85. It's its own universe. And I think what really disappoints fans is, of course, nobody wanted Hicks and Newt to die. That's terrible. It's an awful way to end the movie, and studios, contract negotiations, everything aside. Either way you want to watch the movie, the director's cut, assembly cut, the whatever cut, or just the theatrical version, I still think you didn't.
His screen froze.
We lost.
You can get what you want. It's not a fan service, but it's still, I don't know. I think you can't deny at that point, though, no matter what, it's not a good movie, no matter what your complaint may be.
I mean, as far as Alien, I've always enjoyed Alien 3. I never understood the hate that it got. Yeah, I never understood it because you're getting Sigourney Weaver back. You're getting a fresh sort of take on it with her being in the prison, only female. It's one alien again compared to the last film where we had like 500 of them. I mean, it'll never be as good as Aliens, but I thought it was a well-made movie, better than Resurrection. I mean, it's a dark film. It's a lot like the original.
I picked Resurrection. That almost was. I almost went with that.
I like Resurrection too, though. If I'm being honest, like I dig Resurrection as well. Yeah, I
This
never.
might be a cheap shot, but I feel Romulus, in my personal opinion, made Resurrection a far exceedingly better movie than anybody.
That's
And that's what I mean with
a
fan
bold
service.
statement.
I like
it-
a Romulus too, so
it's fun for a popcorn movie, but like traveling with this story, I think people just wanted it to become some sort of like Indiana Jones-esque thing where Ripley's traveling with Newton Hicks and they're going across the galaxy. And there were multiple scripts and different rewrites. I know you can get a graphic novel and all sorts of different versions of that original script exist. There was a Aliens novel series that features this original story where it's turned into a little boy and an android, and Bishop too. It's just this two. What fans want is them to take off in the Millennium Falcon and all that to work out wonderfully and them to explore the galaxy. And I just think it's not a bad idea, but we get what we got. Nobody wanted it to be that way, but still, for what it is, I maybe I'm overstating what the audience might want, but I think in most people's opinion, they really just want to see aliens fighting and hundreds of them. And this movie is very claustrophobic. It's very quiet, and it also
Yeah.
is very British. We don't
Yeah.
have we just have a lot of different. Some people I've read have a lot of problems with the accents and having to run subtitles on it, which I get. They created English, but sometimes they never fucking speak it.
I
many weird
remember I remember reading, and I have memories of this getting released on VHS and coming out, and obviously I was a kid at the time, so I didn't see it in theater, but I remember reading years later that I think the main issue people had is the original trailer tease, like the teaser trailer teased that the aliens would end up, like the xenomorph would end up on Earth, and that never happened. So it's like, okay, you kind of
you
got
mean
us
a lot of
excited
people
for that
discovered-
concept, and it never paid off, especially in a
people
trailer.
discovered deceptive marketing.
Original Alien trailer as to where the text alien forms on screen and you start getting these close-up shots of a planet and they run through it. And when they cut them in Alien 3, that planet happened to be Earth. So it did give you this feeling of, I don't know, terror. I mean, I was maybe like in 93, I was 4 or 5, and this was one of my first huge memories as a child that my mother had gotten a promotional Alien 3 shirt that I wore like every day until the 5th grade. That it just was by default my favorite film. And then I came to age and you understand the series and go back. I get canonically why people don't like it, but I don't see the faults anywhere, no matter what the studio intervention might have been with this film, which seems to be a theme of the night that most of these films have had a lot of problems with. They would have been brilliant if the studio hadn't stepped in. And just speaking on behalf of Fincher as an artist, like this is one of my favorite things still from him. I love this. I love Fight Club. Those 7, that might be my favorite. Those 3 are the greatest trilogy for me of him. His newer work is still very astounding, but there is something that's just so, and I don't even mean it as a joke. It's just so dank and wet and English. I really like it. I like the appeal. It's like The Cure. It's a depressing, sad little British movie. It's not little by any means. The set pieces, everything is Jerry Goldsmith's score. I think I might be wrong, but I think Jerry Goldsmith came back. They at least sampled the shit out of some Jerry Goldsmith score.
Yeah.
Purchased the rights for the first movie, but the arc of Ripley.
Elliot Gouldenthal.
Oh wow, well.
Yep, so they sampled the shit out of.
Well, they do that, and they do that in these sequels because the original composer doesn't want to come back.
The thing is,
So.
Elliot Gouldenthal is Jerry Goldsmith's best friend's cousin's brother, so they worked on this together. I know my facts.
Honestly, too, like you think 93 and where the franchise was, like before we started the live, we talked about the Kenner action figure. So this is when Alien was this big franchise that they were selling kids' toys. So they wanted Alien 3 to be a specific movie and to make money and I guess appeal to mass audiences at this point, even though Aliens was such a big hit.
I was going to say it was coming off Aliens, which is considered one of the greatest like action adventure type
horror sci-fi action movies.
Like it's considered one of the greatest, because like James Cameron he did Aliens, he did The Abyss, he did Terminator 2. Like this was back to back to back. He was just knocking it out of the park. So people were kind of like, Yeah, and and then people like Alien 3 comes out and it's not James Cameron this time, which is what everybody really wanted.
Yeah.
That's what people wanted right off the bat. And it's David Fincher, this director, this music video director. Nobody's heard of this guy. Like, who is he? He does Madonna videos. Who is this fucking guy?
Yeah, it wasn't the David Fincher we know today.
Exactly.
No,
Not at all. Not at all. Like, he was literally a music video director before this. I don't think he had any. I think this was his first.
I think he was a music. I think you're right. He was a music video director.
I know.
Yeah, no, he definitely was. Yeah.
Yeah.
He want to take attention
off
off
any
this.
features before this.
I don't want to take attention off this video, but for everyone out there in the chat and watching this later, if you go check out Death by DVD's YouTube, our last video is a compilation of every single Kenner Aliens toys, followed by a video that is every single Alien movie with a 40-minute intermission filled with every video game commercial possible that you could find. We are dangerously on the border of ripping off Dinosaur Dracula with our nostalgia on our YouTube right now, but I have to plug myself out because nobody will, and I'm sorry.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with plugging yourself. No, it's all right. There's nothing wrong with plugging your shit, man. Yeah, I mean, I'll never get, just like Blair Witch 2, I won't get the hate that Alien 3 gets. I mean, I get it being a lesser than film compared to the first two, but it's not a bad movie.
I understand complaints. Like, it sucks to kill Hicks and Newt like that off the bat, and
that's like the biggest sin.
The movie by any chance out there that's like, I would have watched it, but the guy from Death by DVD ruined it for me. Like, I am so sorry to give that right off the bat, but as just, I mean, I don't mean to insultingly be like, well, the production company ruined it, because Sigourney Weaver was executive producer of the film. As just her as the star piece of this, we saw her in Alien, we saw her in Aliens. I think this is her shiniest, greatest performance as a very broken version of Ellen Ripley, and is just the most exquisite survivor. I think she's just one of the greatest examples of, like, when you say badass, I don't think of Sylvester Stallone or Rocky or something like that. I think of Ellen Ripley, but specifically after she saves the hair with the one busted eye.
Yeah.
Surviving.
I mean, it's Sigourney Weaver. She's always going to be amazing, in my opinion.
Really
Something else crazy.
What were we gonna say, Manny?
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you know what's one thing that always stands out to me with Alien 3? I love how they kill the alien, where they kind of plant the trap with the mercury, I think it is, and they force it by closing all the doors, and then they force it into that mechanism, and all the mercury gets poured onto it, and it disintegrates. To me, that scene is so well orchestrated and well directed, well shot, well edited.
Phenomenal.
How can you hate the movie? Just like, look at that scene where the guys are being picked off, getting stuck behind the doors, getting killed. I don't know. I just don't get, again, I don't get the dislike for it.
Yeah. So I was going to say, I just discovered something. I have a tendency of doing this during the show too, is while people are talking, I look some weird stuff up, and I just found something here. You guys might both be a little too young to remember this, but when I was a kid, there was a commercial on TV for the American Cancer Society. Okay. And the commercial was a woman smoking, and then the camera goes into the womb. Okay. And it shows the baby floating, holding a cigarette. It says, if you're smoking, your baby is smoking.
Damn.
You know, American Cancer Society. Yes, this was the commercial. David Fincher directed that commercial.
Interesting.
1985.
I mean,
it's on Letterboxd. I marked it as watched and liked, because that commercial was, as I say, you guys might be a little too young for it. By the time TV was memorable, because this, again, 85, this is literally older than you.
I was watching Pee-wee. Oh yeah, 85. I was born the following year. So yeah.
The commercial's literally older than both of you, so you might not remember seeing this on TV, but it was on TV a lot.
I'm sure it's on YouTube, and I will be watching it. So
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. I remember it, but wow, I never knew that. David Fincher directed that commercial.
I gotta check it out. I'm gonna give it a watch.
If you're smoking, your baby is smoking.
I mean, even into the 90s, after doing Alien 3, but he directed commercials into the 2000s. That's how David Lynch paid his rent. He shot dozens
Yes.
of car commercials. I think he shot a few Mercedes Benz, even I think Ford. I might be incorrect, but I think he shot Ford commercials.
Oh,
And just average, like they're not David Lynch commercials. It's just some fucker getting into a car and driving around the Ford.
This is
Like,
a David Lynch. This is a David Fincher commercial. Holy
there's no
shit.
ethereal
This was-
whooshing. Like there's
Nope.
nothing weird. Yeah.
This is a I'm gonna fuck with your head and make you stop smoking cigarette commercial. Like if you want a way to quit smoking,
Honest
this
to
is how to
God.
do it.
This is my first, I think, appearance ever that I've not chain smoked, and that's what did it. David Lynch died, and all right, well, I quit.
Damn. I mean, listen, he had a good run. He had a good run. We funny enough, we did a live a few months ago talking about David Lynch when he passed away. So all right. Anything
Moving
else on Alien 3 so we can move on?
Oh, okay.
Nothing else? No.
I think my same points would just remain the same. I think despite if you can take yourself away as an Alien fan and just appreciate the film as a solid piece of filmmaking, I think David Fincher does, even with studio pressure, knowing somebody was breathing down his back, he still got some great shots and did some really interesting things and made this his own. And I think that's the most important thing as a filmmaker, that you make something your own. And this is the third sequel in a legacy series, and it has a stamp on it. So you can hate it all you want to, but you can still appreciate the artwork that was put into the film.
I was going to say that
it's a
earlier.
good way of saying it. Yeah. It's a good way
all
of
the
putting it.
studio interference and everything, it's still a good movie. That just shows how hard it is to ruin David Fincher's movies.
Yeah.
Solid guy.
It doesn't seem like Mike's a fan. He says Alien 3 isn't bad, just meh. So
Want to fight, Mike? Do you have a problem, buddy? Do you want to go
that's,
outside?
that's Mike. Those are Mike's statements. Alien 3 isn't bad, just meh. So again, I
just
think
want
that's
everybody to know. I'm going to call him out. This is Mike DeFilippo from Horror Society.
Oh, I didn't realize that was who that was. Okay,
I love
who
that is. I'm going to call him out.
Oh, come on, Mike.
Great movies that have been on Death by DVD and some amazing filmmakers, including Manny Serrano. I think you have, if you haven't, you might have discussed in Paternoster and the Mission of Light by Christopher Bickle. If you've not seen that, Mike, check that one out. Might be great for Horror Society.
All right. On to my first pick. And this is one I think a lot of people hate. Both of my picks I completely earned. I think that people don't like them.
Earned.
They're earned. The hatred they get, earned, in my opinion. Especially, I think, now that I learned of Blair Witch 2's rating on Letterboxd, I've been blown away by it. My mind's been blown at how bad that rating is. I'm like, wow, even my first pick has a bad... Even my first pick, I think, has a higher rating than that, which is crazy. But my first pick... Jaws: The Revenge from 1987. The fourth film.
I'm going to look it up.
The fourth film in the Jaws franchise.
You texted me that the other day, and I was like, "Shit, I gotta go look up which one."
Nope.
It's Van Peebles' movie.
Yes.
So that's
Jaws. Jaws is a 1.6. It is lower than Blair Witch 2.
Oh!
I didn't realize that's what you were picking. I
Jaws
forgot that's what you.
Jaws. There we go. Jaws: The Revenge is worse on Letterboxd. Has a worse rating on Letterboxd than Blair Witch 2. Amazing.
I'm not going to dispute that either, though. Come on.
Yeah.
So
You're going to have to defend this one.
there's reasons
You're really
why.
going to defend this one.
So a lot of it is nostalgia. I'll be very honest. Nostalgia plays heavily into my admiration for Jaws: The Revenge. It is a piece of shit. There's no denying it. It's not a good
I think
movie.
I've seen it once. I saw it once, and that's it.
It's not a good movie, but
I don't remember which one it was either.
I will say this in defense of Jaws: The Revenge. In my opinion, better than Jaws 3D. And not a lot of people say that. People think Jaws 3D
has the roaring shark.
Yeah.
I'll honestly fight. I'll take that because, I mean, Jaws 3D is interesting because we're continuing the story with the Brody family. But at this point, I don't give a shit which Quaid is playing the character.
Yeah.
It's not interesting. It's just not very fun. It's very cool if you could see it in full like anaglyph 3D, but when you watch it now, just the regular effects that play on things like Turner Broadcasting and things like that, it's just this awful shark hitting the green screen. Nothing's really fun with that. At least
And roaring.
with part 4, you've got this difference of you've got the TV cut where I don't remember which one. One, Mario Van Peebles dies. One, he lives in.
The TV cut he lives, I believe. If I remember correctly.
I didn't even know that.
So
I didn't even know that.
So if you haven't watched Jaws: The Revenge in
I
years.
just
Now I gotta
fucking
watch it
ruined it.
again.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Either way, I fucked it up for you. I am so
So
sorry.
if you haven't watched, to sum up the film in like one sentence, basically a shark, not the shark. This is a different shark because the shark in the first movie was killed. The shark in the second movie was electrocuted. The shark in the third one, I think, explodes or some shit. So a shark comes back.
Shark in the third movie jumped out of the screen
Yes.
and suffocated.
Yes.
This one's supposedly like been bred for vengeance, and I
Yes.
feel throughout the movie I'm
Yes.
supposed to believe that it's like karma is attacking Chief Brody's wife 30.
Yeah, it's fucking.
She didn't fucking do anything. She didn't even hurt the fucking shark. Why would it go after her? What the fuck?
So, like you just said, basically the shark comes back to get revenge on the Brodies, so the whole family. And nobody's believing Ellen Brody. Lorraine Gary, she comes back from her appearance from the original film, aka Chief Brody's wife, like you said, Hank. And the shark wants to kill her sons and kill her. And the shark travels from Amity to the Bahamas because she goes. So Ellen.
So what you're saying
Yes.
I
is this
don't
should have
think
been
most
called
people
Jump.
know how far that is. That's not like
That's
that's
very-
a really fucking far distance for a great
Listen,
white
it's
shark.
stupid because again, her youngest son, the infamous scene from the original Jaws where he's mimicking everything Chief Brody's doing at the dinner table. He's killed. He's like 20 and a cop now himself. So to get her mind off of things, she goes to the Bahamas. The fucking shark follows her from Amity to the Bahamas, where her older son is working as like I forget what his job, something with the ocean. I forget what his job is. And the shark,
Ocean. That was it.
yes, that was it. He's just an ocean guy. He's like a marine biologist or some shit like that. He studies fish or something. The shark shows back up, wants revenge, hence the title, and no one believes her. Then her older son finds out there is a shark but doesn't tell her. It's a stupid plot. I will admit that. I'll be the first one to say this movie's dumb. But for me, I remember as a kid this playing on TV all the time. Here in New York, WPIX or Channel 9, one of them, UPN, I forget which one played it. It was on TV all the time. I have memories of walking into video stores, seeing the cover, which is the classic Jaws, in the original it's him with the girl on top. It's that same image, Jaws: The Revenge, but this time you see Ellen in a boat going towards, that's like the cover, going towards the shark. It's stupid. The shark looks like a giant fiberglass turd. It's terrible. It's crazy how they were able to cast Michael Caine to play a role. He plays Hoagie,
Ridiculous.
like basically her love interest.
I
Because
think in this film specifically, I might have my quotes wrong, but I believe I've read that he did this film to buy his mother a house.
he had just won an award a few years, like an Academy Award a few years prior to this too.
Did Dress to Kill already at this point.
Yeah,
He'd already done Dress to Kill, and
It's Michael. Well, he'd done previous to that some of the earliest, I guess, what you could call like British mafia exploitation films that were cheaply replicated by Sylvester Stallone in the 90s. But he had already been cemented as I wouldn't even say bad boy, but just one of the classiest British actors that you could find. He was always esteemed. It's Sir Michael Caine. He's a wonderful gentleman.
No,
The
I
greatest
agree.
thing about it, if you say his name in a fake Jamaican accent, it sounds exactly like you say Michael Caine.
It goes to show you that winning an award at the Oscars means jack shit if you just need to get paid.
You need
Like,
a paycheck.
yes,
Sometimes
a
you
lot
just
of
need
these
a paycheck.
actors just are like, fuck it, I'll be in Jaws 4 just to make a little money.
One of those things where you feel like nobody's ever going to see it anyway. So it's like,
Well,
nobody's going to see this. movie, so
Nobody
fuck
went
it.
to
I
see it,
gotta
hence
get it.
why we haven't
No.
gotten another Jaws movie in
Yeah.
37-8 years at this
Well,
point.
there was Cruel Jaws, Jaws 5.
yes. We never
There
got
was
it.
that.
But yeah,
I think too is knowing like Michael Caine, he probably never even saw Jaws. He just doesn't care.
He did that.
probably. You're probably right. It's a bad movie. It's basically, you might as well put a hockey mask and give the shark a machete. He's just going around wanting to kill people. He eats a woman on a banana boat at one point. He rips off the son early. Like there's like a first kill, kind of like before Scream and all those movies did it, where someone's killed early, the son gets his arm ripped off, and then he gets dragged like into the ocean and eaten. It's stupid. It's entertaining. That's sort of my defense. I know it's not good. You mentioned Mario Van Peebles playing a Jamaican, like I guess his Islander accent. I don't even think it's the Bahamas. So
he played a freaking Highlander, so he can play.
I guess, yeah, you're right. I do want to point out one hilarious thing that everyone remembers about this movie. So when Ellen kills the shark, she like is, I have to go out there alone, and then Hoagie and the son and Mario Van Peebles all go into his plane and
no spoiler witch.
So no spoiler witch. Who cares about Jaws: The Revenge? So they all go in the plane. Yeah, we're ruining it for everybody. They go into the plane. They go over to save Ellen. She's in the boat. I forget how, but like. One of the what are they called? The sails on the boat breaks, and she uses that to stab the shark, because this fucking shark leaps out of the water at the end. It leaps, growls, and then, like a dinosaur, it has fucking vocal cords, and then she impales it.
It growled in part 3 as well.
Did it? I don't remember.
Water. In the water when it came.
I don't remember part 3.
There's that one scene where it's where they're underwater, like in the lower deck of it, and there's like the big glass thing, and it's coming at it. This thing is in the water, and it past the fucking, like, it's underwater and it's fucking growling
shark.
What is wrong with you people?
That's how tough it is. It's a super shark.
They don't have vocal cords.
They really implicate in Jaws 4 though that the shark is like psychically connected with her. So it's like, is this the like great
slasher killer
of the first shark?
I was gonna say earlier, are you trying to say that this should have been called Jaws Bloodline?
Yes. Yes.
Revenge is
this
really
should have been Jaws Bloodline.
by using this title, Revenge, you're really making me think that this has to be a family member. This is personal. It's like a second.
Clearly,
no matter what.
She was in his
the
book.
implications of
She
the
was
shark
on the list.
It's like
this time it's really personal.
Yep.
The shark
10 years ago, she made the list. She's on Jericho's list.
It's fun. I will say it's a fun movie, just by how absurd it is. Again, I think most people listening to this episode know Jaws: The Revenge.
Yes,
it's
again,
just
no spoiler, which we watched it, so you don't have.
Yeah,
to. That's the purpose.
I'm sure most people listening to this episode, or watching now, or listening later, or watching later, have seen Jaws: The Revenge. So if you haven't, trust me, the spoilers are not. They're not going to affect. They're not going to affect the quality of your viewing experience. It's not going to affect the quality of the film.
I don't remember it. All I remember is, oh, that's right, Michael Caine's in this. That's all I remember.
Dude,
it is a perfect movie to have on at like 3 p.m. during a barbecue when it's playing on cable and it's the TV cut. Like, there's nothing you miss in any version of the film. Either way you want to watch it, it doesn't matter. It is legitimately fun to watch.
And to wrap up the Jaws Revenge talk, I'm pretty sure this movie is the reason why we've never got another Jaws movie, like an actual sequel. I think about it, it's kind of crazy to think that it's been like 87. It was when this came out, and we have not. That's very few franchises can say that there has not been this. This film killed the Jaws franchise. So
I don't know. What was the last Pumpkinhead we had?
I don't think the gap.
Pumpkinhead went way past this.
Yes,
I know.
I don't even think the gap between Pumpkin, like whenever we do get another Jaws film, whether it's a remake, a sequel, a requel, whatever, I don't know another franchise that the gap is like almost 40 years. Since the last film. So who knows? I think when Spielberg's no longer around, they're going to remake this or do something with the franchise. That's what they want to do, I'm sure. He probably won't allow it now, but in 20 years, it'll probably be a completely different story.
Maybe.
But back to Manny. Next film.
Oh, me. Okay. This one is okay, so this is another sequel. It says a 2.3 on Letterboxd. And I genuinely do not know why. I do, because because it is this franchise in and of itself. People hate it on the fact that it exists. You know, they just don't like the whole concept of it being a movie. It kicked off a whole series of films in the 70s just like this. There's a lot of people who really just hate the fact that these movies were made and they were a thing, and they're baffled by the fact that people enjoy them. So
Smokey and
this
the Bandit.
that
Cannonball
absolutely
Run.
weird. Yep, that's right. Smokey is the Bandit, part 3. That's what we're talking right now. Smokey and the Bandit 3. No, I'm bringing up I Spit on Your Grave 3, Vengeance is Mine.
I want to point one thing.
Look, he just laughed right off the bat.
I love how Manny went to part. He skipped the whole sequel. He's like, I'm picking. I Spit in Your Grave.
Though I hate
3.
agreeing with this because I was like I cringed at the title, and I have nothing against Miyazaki's I Spit on Your Grave. Again, shamelessly plugging many episodes of Death by DVD. We have one all about that film and its history as well. With I think it's paired with Last House on the Left on that episode, so you get a double whammy of exploitation fever. That film has its place, and as Manny said, with great credence to starting its own genre of rape revenge. The sequels, on the other hand, I always thought were slightly obnoxious until I watched part 3, and I'm kind of pleased to say, I'll be honest with you, it's not great, but it's 3 stars. It's fine. I think it could have gone farther than it did, in fact. And there are some great sequences of very exaggerated violence. And throughout the film, I was wondering to myself of how can people be so shocked by a Serbian film where something like this has been available on fucking Tubi for years? I mean, there's some shocking scenes of extreme violence, and I understand a Serbian film. I'm not going to talk about it because you probably shouldn't on a live. I think it's just like there's a string of words that
the live is going to shut off right now. Like, that's it. You guys are done.
All right, Manny,
So
dive into it.
Okay, so there was a remake of I Spit on Your Grave, and starring Sarah Butler and a few other notable names at the time. This part 3 is a sequel to that. Part 2 was its own standalone Spit on Your Grave movie. It was another woman and another woman in another country. I think it's also Serbia or something, some Middle Eastern or Asian country that she goes on a vacation. It's very Taken. It has a Taken kind of vibe to it, where if you were to follow the girl being attacked, you know, when they kidnap her, they put her in like a I want to say kind of like a pool. I don't know what it is really, but it's like, imagine like an underground pool, but with no water. You know, she's just kept in that in part 2, and they do the horrible things to her there, and then she escapes and violence ensues. Part 3, this, in my opinion, and I have a very strong opinion about this movie, this is my favorite of all of them, including the original. Now, I saw the remake I went to the New York premiere when the remake came out, and I didn't know at the time they were double featuring it. So we watched part 1 immediately after it. They did the remake, and then they did a Q&A, and then we played part 1. And wow, so I got to watch them both back to back, and that was the first time that I realized how bad the first movie really is. The original, like, it's hokey. It's got really, really bad. It's brutal as hell. I still love it, you know, but it's just up against the remake that was so well polished with much better performances, better cinematography, editing, music. You know, it was all the original movie redone in a modern way with a budget, you know. It was, I really like, right off I like the remake better. This is a sequel to that. And what's really interesting about it is that it takes itself as though it's an extension of the first movie, of the first remake. You know, we really don't introduce who she is. We don't really get into anything and what actually happened to her. We just continue on. It's almost like that was episode 1 and this is episode 2. You know, there's
Well, you get some brief glimpses. I mean, there's some shots between where you learn about how she's changed her name and she's the same person. She works through these therapy groups. It has a very nice linking between the two that establishes the character years later. Like that, I think it was thoughtfully written at that.
Totally. Totally. And Miyazaki was involved in this too in some ways. I'm not entirely sure, but he was involved in this. And so here the main difference of this movie is that there is no rape scene. It does not happen in this movie. This is about Jennifer Hills years later. She's now named herself Angela because she doesn't want to be Jennifer Hills anymore. She got away with whatever she did and they never caught her for it. She is now living in essentially, I don't know what city it is. It's kind of New York, Chicago, LA amalgam city, you know? I think it's probably New York because she had come from New York in the original movie, so I think we're in New York and it's her now years later and she's in victim therapy. She decides to finally go to group therapy to kind of get over it, and she meets all the other victims of various types of sexual assault. There's the one there's an older man who's there, and his daughter had been assaulted by someone and the guy had gotten off, and then his daughter killed herself, so he's in the group. There's one girl who's currently being assaulted by her stepfather, another one by her boyfriend. So it real and it encapsulates a lot of different types of victims and different levels of their recovery and where they are in their life of this abuse. So it really tries to nail down that and show what we don't see in movies is how victims really feel about this. And it's a little hokey and some of the dialogue is very forced, but it's because they're trying to make it clear what this is. And I see a lot of the reviews talk about, oh, it's that you get that argument. Well, not all men, because every man she comes across through the course of this is harassing her in some way. But the point is that it's showing you that women go through this on a daily basis. Every single day, they live with men who ogle them. And no, it's not every man, but those are the ones they notice. If you don't bother a person on the street, they don't notice you exist. So it suddenly feels like every single person you cross is saying something to you, and because you didn't notice everybody else. And that's what this film is doing. And then it gets into some severe, hardcore violence. Like
Do you
some
think
of
you could
these.
really tie it to every man though? I mean, I even
Yep.
my summarization of Blair Witch 2 was Kim Director's hot. So I mean,
Mm.
I even in this same program did something that sure, you could take it as a compliment, and I meant it as one, but it doesn't have to be directed that way. And
Yep.
it's still, I mean, it was a slightly inappropriate thing to say, just
Yeah.
sexualizing someone because I liked the movie. So that's a big fold in this film, and I think that is prominent. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's got a fucking statement. It's got a bit of a soul statement with it.
Yeah. There's even a character in the movie that she works with, a guy who works with her, who he's just trying to be friends and he wants to be friendly. And every time she's so inundated with people all the time. Again, she's an abuse survivor. So she's always got her guard up in the first place, and then she's constantly got these guys on the street, guys talking to her, this one. So every time this guy who's just trying to be friendly with her is he approaches her, he talks to her, she assumes he's trying to sleep with her, and she's a total asshole to him, and she rebuffs him and she yells at him, she screams, and he's just like, I'm just trying to be friends. He's genuinely just trying to be friends. She swears he's trying to sleep with her. So that's the level of just distrust she has in her whole world, and that's what the film tries to show. And I think that first half hour, especially her with the other woman that she meets and she becomes friends with, um it's it puts a pit in my stomach when I watched it the first time, because it was so, because again, it was cheesy and it was a little overdone, but I got what they were going for and I felt every bit of it. Like I actually got emotional watching it. Now I know most people are not going to say that at all. I can understand it, but something about the film hit me, and I think Sarah Butler carried it well. She brought so much to it and made it real. If you can just watch it like the movie it is and not the rape revenge film it comes from, see that this is the film trying to show you, well, what would have happened to Jennifer Hills afterwards. That's what this film is.
I haven't seen it, so
But I mean,
Yeah,
in
I
all
have to
honesty, you
watch
hear
it.
"Spit on Your Grave" 3,
Yeah.
you feel like, what am I going to watch that for?
Yeah.
I've seen one, you've seen them all.
I mean, it's I Spit in Your Grave 3. So I guess
Exactly.
that's why
Precisely.
people, people
Yes.
see that and they're just like, what? This is a sequel to a remake of a film from the 70s. So it's like,
Yes.
There's
yeah.
so many unanswered questions from Sleepaway Camp 1 and 2 that there's now a 3 Sleepaway Camp. Well, that's a funny one that I accidentally slipped that in instead of I Spit on Your Grave, because still there's an unnecessary amount of sequels to that
Yes.
film as well. The many unanswered questions. My only big kind of beef with the movie is the way it ends. Just kind of makes me feel like it's violence for the sake of violence, but it's still
Mhm.
kind of good. It just makes me feel it's hard to root for this character at the end of the film, because now she's kind of, there's these fantasy clips of
Yeah.
her with her therapist where she starts fantasizing about murder and she's not always acting on it, but now it makes me feel like our whole hero's idea, it's not so much about revenge anymore, you're actually enjoying doing this. So
Well,
she,
no. In the end, that's a fantasy too.
oh, with the therapist, yes it was.
At the very end, it's a fantasy. They show she does this whole thing and she slaughters and
And she
slashes
walks
everybody,
away.
and then she turns away and there's no blood on her face anymore.
You're right. I did.
It,
Okay. Yeah. I watched it for the first time today.
no,
That is
yeah,
the last scene, because it begins even as a shock to annoy you as an audience member, because there's a scene in this movie that makes it appear as if everything never happened,
yeah.
and suddenly your heart kind of races. And they do it. It's a nice switcherooski. The entire production, I think, is pretty well done. Like Manny has mentioned, there are some kind of cheesier lines of dialogue, but the hardest part for me, I think, with anything in the I Spit on Your Grave series is just being a guy, a male, and me speaking on behalf of, like, well, I don't think this is how somebody would react, because I can't judge or say how a woman would react. But given all these films have been pretty much written by white males, I get the point and gist of it. But that's one of the only things I don't appreciate with the sequels, is I think they kind of lose point on this one, not necessarily, but part two and the first one, I think, lose point on what happened and just show you the savagery of what happens next. Yeah. And what's very important and what made I Spit on Your Grave was the abuse you as an audience member took while watching the film.
Big time.
But there's some abuse you take in this one. Like, I think it goes on par with any of the last 10 years of Saw films, if you want to use that for like a gore count. But I mean, geez, this is like Fred Vogel's Mask Head. There is some extreme violence. There's a twist of a reference for the audience. You go look up Mask Head by Fred Vogel.
There is one scene that our co-host Chris would be a fan of. He's got to watch this movie for that scene alone. There's a scene of her. I'm just gonna, because I'll say it again. I'll just go through it. There's a scene where she's with a guy in an alley, and he's gonna force her to give him a blowjob, and we get flashbacks through, again, like he said, there's flashbacks to the original attack, and she remembers how she responded there. So it's almost like you have these moments where she has gotten past it, or she's trying to get past it, but then she has these things and it flashes her back to how she had just clicked into survival mode in the first movie, and that's what she did. And you're watching it happen again. She's not a violent person, she's not this, but she can't get over it happening so often, and just being in the fact that rapists exist in the world is enough that she just, how do you not become a feral animal, but so anyway, so she does this. You know what? I'm going to let people be surprised by what they do, but you see it all.
You told me what the scene was, so I know what. I haven't seen it, but you told me what it is.
If you thought the scene from the first one was crazy, and how the cutting off and all that, wow, this is a dick mutilation.
This might be a bit extreme. Maybe not a Human Centipede 2, but I think this has more shocking scenes of violence than the first Human Centipede movie. I think there are some extreme.
Totally.
And again, I made that reference to something like a Serbian film. This is hardcore American-ish. It's definitely not made by Americans, but it's kind of American-ish and legacy horror. And wow.
There's a scene in this that I haven't seen done since Jodie Foster did it in The Brave One.
Oh wow, I forgot that. I forgot about that movie in time. I saw that in the theater. I remember the theaters when that came out. Wow, I have
Remember
to,
the pool table scene?
Yeah, I know exactly.
There's
what scene.
one like that in
Oh,
this.
I'm sure it's worse in this compared to that.
It's much worse.
That was like a big budget Hollywood film.
Yes,
This is like
much worse.
I'll be honest. I think I saw the first remake with you. I have not.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't.
At the screening.
I don't know if it was the screening or at your house. I don't remember.
No, I might have watched it at that, but yeah, first time I might have shown it to you. Then.
I don't remember. I was with you when I saw it the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of the original. So obviously I went in jaded and like, oh, this is a remake. You know, I was like that, and I remember the first one not being terrible. I remember like I think she doesn't don't birds like peck out a guy's eyeballs in the original the first remake. And that's all I remember about the remake. I have to go back.
That's what's his name from Mean Girls.
From Mean Girls, the best friend, the gay best friend. I have to go back and watch these remakes. It just blows my mind that a film that never got sequels, the remake.
It did get a sequel.
What? Don't Mess with My Sister?
No. The Spit on Your Grave, Deja Vu. Came out within the last 10 years. It was Camille Keaton all
right, so I have to watch that one.
Jamie Bernadette.
I have not seen that one.
Literally 40 years later.
Okay.
Camille Keaton's
Don't tell me what happens.
It's also by Miyazaki, also that it's not some standalone director.
Oh, so I thought. Now this is coming back to me. I thought that film was a part of these remake sequels.
I did too initially.
Oh, okay.
No connection to this plug, but you can find that streaming on the Arrow streaming channel right now.
Yeah.
So
Jamie Bernadette, I believe, is Camille Keaton's character's daughter. Is Jennifer Hill's
daughter.
In that.
I mean, I have some idea of where it goes because it's an I Spit in Your Grave sequel to the original. But
I'm going to let you suffer through it on your own. But I'm going to tell you, it is 2.5 hours, and
what?
It is easily one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Really?
Life.
I won't go that far, but it is very long, and they're asking a lot of you.
This was one of the most painful experiences to sit through.
Really, it was that bad, huh?
I cannot tell you. Like,
maybe I'll love it, and it'll be in one of these episodes in the future.
You know what? You might. You just might. There are some people who truly love it, and I like Jamie Bernadette. I've met her a few times. I like her. I think she's a really good actress, and I think that this was like, what did they do?
Oh, interesting.
She did everything she could, and she did.
Still was a stinker, huh? All right, I gotta watch. I gotta sit when I have some time and just watch all the I Spit. I've seen the original one 100 times, but I've got to watch.
It's a date night, right?
I mean,
oh yeah, what a date!
Nothing screams a date night like I Spit in Your Grave. I mean, again, I love the original.
And we went to go see Chaos together. Remember?
Yes. Yeah.
We saw Chaos together in the theater.
We did see Chaos.
Sage Stallone.
Yeah. I remember seeing that too.
Sage Stallone.
I've got to go back and revisit this like remake franchise sequel situation and the original sequel to the original film, or not even the original, the sequel to the original film. It's just so weird that they made a sequel to the original 70s film and then there's sequels to the remakes. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
Moving on.
All right, I'm done manipulating.
All right, Hank, next pick.
Oh, what was my? Oh, yep, the 2000. I had to think for a second. Like, what was it? I think it might be Alien 3.
Deja vu. Speaking of deja vu, I could have sworn we talked about Alien 3 already.
Yeah. Now this one I haven't seen. I haven't finished it, so I don't have much to say on this.
I don't think anyone but me here has finished it, but we have the 2011 prequel to The Thing, and I'm not going to insult the director by trying to say his very, very Nordic name.
Why do you love this movie so much? Why do you love this movie, Hank?
I think one thing that might have been distraught with audience.
God, that name! Holy shit!
Yeah,
a random. There's just a J. There's J's just thrown in there.
It's
He's
like
got
a cat
J's
across the keyboard. It's not an. It's
there's like 7 eyes. What the fuck?
Manny, just try to pronounce it.
Matthijs van Helgeningen Jr.
Close
Junior, which means he's the second person named this.
Oh man, good job.
Matthijs.
didn't want to try. I didn't even want to go down that road. I knew I would insult this person, and I did.
They usually leave the pronunciation like that to me.
let Manny try, and even I'm sure he butchered it too.
Sure. You know what? It's probably like a Welsh name
Probably.
where there's
Kevin.
17 letters
like Kevin
and
Smith. You know, it's a very
yeah,
normal name.
there's 17 letters and it's like Joe.
All right, back to the Thing sequel reboot. Hank, why do you love it again?
I think the biggest issue with this movie when it comes to the audience is very similar to Alien 3. Maybe not so much expectation, but it was a great letdown for it all to be practical effects. And you can tell the story of what could have been. And I think that's a lot of faults with films of, well, it could have been better because, and you could have done this, and it was a really hard day to work. They had shot everything with practical effects, and that was stripped away from the studio. They decided, no, it's not going to work. It looks too cheesy. So let's go ahead and do digital. But as a fair story, starting off with I don't know, perhaps an education of the Thing. I think this movie has a great detail of characters, and I personally, when I watch it, get attached to them. I feel there's a lot of emotion with the storytelling and setting up what happened to the Thing, but we don't really revel in the past. There's some fan services. Like there's a scene in John Carpenter's The Thing where we are exploring the Norwegian station and there's an axe in the wall. And in this prequel, we see how it got there. We get to find their paperwork and all the things that we don't get to read in the Thing. So it's not like you're getting a great deal of extra information, but setting that story up instead of going into a sequel and trying to replicate Kurt Russell and Keith David, or was it David Keith? One of the two of those.
Keith David or David Keith?
I think it's Keith David. It's Keith David.
That was, I got to say, that was one of my favorite segments on Death by DVD. He did a game every week. Is it Keith David or David Keith? Then he'd play a clip or something.
The only reason
one of my
I had
favorite
to
segments.
stop doing it is it got to a point where it become very evident who it was, of like, who played a black space Muslim, and it's like, well, that, you know, there's only one of these answers can be correct here.
That's not true. That's not true.
Honestly, it really, yeah. Our list is impressive enough.
Mario Van Peebles played a Jamaican, okay? Anything's possible.
An Islander. I don't know if he's Jamaican. I just said Jamaican.
That's true. Jack Black played a Jamaican.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He did.
I love that coverall term of just Islander, though. It works. That's it.
He's an Islander, guys. We were joking before we went live that I have never finished this film.
Me neither.
I've watched the first 30 minutes. I've fallen
you know how
asleep.
it ends. Like
Yeah.
watching the whole movie is disappointing because it's like, well, none of these motherfuckers are gonna live. There's no. I've seen the Thing at this point. Why else would you be watching this version of the Thing? So it's like there's a hopelessness set off at the beginning, and that too goes back to Alien 3, where it's like, right off the bat, it's hopeless. Everyone you just watched for the last 2 hours, or whichever version of Alien you watched, the hour and 45 minute or the 2 hour version, it's who else could you have killed to make this movie suck more? That immediately is what made Alien 3 fail. You killed the fucking kid. You killed the kid. Everybody really liked the kid. What are you doing here?
I did read about the practical effects, like the issues with them sort of like going back and reshooting stuff to put in like CGI effects, like over the practical effects. And then, like I said, every time I watch this movie, I fall asleep and I wake up.
It screws the pacing up really bad. Like this recut destroyed the pacing.
I've never even dove into like what was cut out. I know about the practical effects issues and then them going back, but I always wake up at the very end when the dog is running through the snow and it connects to the original film. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to watch the Thing, the original Thing. Like, why go back?
Just keep going.
Why
go back and try?
Why go back?
Try it again?
Why even bother? Like, let me just watch the good one, you know? But I have not heard. You're the first person to say they like love or like this film. Most people are just like, I'm not gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch the original John Carpenter film. So
I think skipped over massively by a lot of people that just didn't want to see a computer generated thing. And I guess I can be the one guy to harp on film versus digital. The problem is even doing like a director's cut, or what they did with Aliens 3, and being able to replicate some of these scenes and fix them later on, they were just thrown away. that they had all of this shot. There's photography, there's photos of what they were trying to do, but the footage is gone. Somebody right clicked and deleted it and cleared the recycling bin, and there's no like film to scan. It was shot on digital. So I think it was, and that kind of killed it, as we discussed with Jaws 4, how bizarre it is to not have a sequel for so long in a legacy series. And I think you had a very successful video game and some storytelling, and there are some comic books, and you can really revel in the past of the thing. And that this was a great idea that was very mishandled by a studio system.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I remember about it when it came out, they promoted it by, and I think I've talked about this in the show before, it has to have come up, but they had at Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios, they had a haunted attraction.
I was there.
Yeah.
That year.
Themed.
I wanted to go so bad that I think it was only a few years before I got to go my first time.
Yeah.
One of those. But they also made it very much seem with all the billing
Yes.
for this movie that it was a sequel to the thing, or a
That
remake.
was our honeymoon. That was my honeymoon that year. That was the year. That it was 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
That was the year
snowed.
it
They
was
had
my
fake
yeah.
snow inside of the
yes.
stage where the haunted house was. And that's all I remember about the Thing prequel is that they had a haunted house.
Before I was. You
Yeah.
went a couple weeks before us.
Yes. I remember I went. This was like 20. What year was this, Hank, again? 2010, 2011? Yeah.
Well, this came out 2011, so the promotions were 2010.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So, you had went in September, then we got married, and then the two of us, then me and my wife, we went down there. Yeah, I remember that now. I was standing online and seeing the giant wall of the Thing and all the snow in front of it and everything. I was like, this movie's looking kind of cool. I want to see this. And then I never really watched it.
Coolest thing about the prequel that there was we got a Thing haunted house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they try to push too that like this is definitely the 80s, and like I think the first scene of the movie is it's Who Can It Be Now she's listening to while performing an autopsy, and it's just blaring through her very 80s small headphones, and they want to set the mood. And again, I just think the story, the idea, the people behind it, if it wasn't for the production team, I think that was the biggest fault with this movie is we're going digital's big. We're still in that wake even in 2011 of that bullet slow motion Max Payne stuff, the Matrix, that huge effects era was kind of on its last leg, and then James Cameron is coming up with this crazy blue universe. I think in mindset, yeah, probably looked kind of cool in 2011. Maybe I don't recall it. I remember seeing the movie when it coming out and going, "Wow, it's a cool movie, but what did they do? Why did they make it look this way?" And even some of the creature effects, like there were some beautiful sequences of just as we see in the Thing of people kind of being torn apart. But in this aspect, we get people becoming two different beasts together. We get a lot of cool Thing effects, and it's not even pleasant to watch with the digital. It really takes away from the movie and the experience. But still, I think taking the story for what it is, it's an ask. It's a big reach with here. Like Alien 3, I think at least you can go, yeah, that looks good. I will admit this was a hard one to fight, but that's one reason I like bringing up films like this is specifically that the performances were great. I'm here's a name I'll butcher. I believe it's Adwell Abnale Kinju. He was Adebisi in Oz.
Yeah.
And beautiful Cockney accented man plays an American in this movie, and he's so lovable. I've seen this guy in other shows violently rape people, and he performance. You know, he does so well with this that doesn't stain your mind.
Yeah.
There's a good performance. There's a good show that's put on, and this is one of those cast and crew, the director, everyone had good. They had a good intention. They tried. Gold star.
Is it
that studio interference?
Is it Joel Edgerton that's in this?
Yeah.
And then Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Yeah, man, I don't know.
Watch it just for her. I mean, and she still could. It still didn't even keep my attention. I think she's a great actress.
What's funny is like the last 20 minutes of the movie, we go into the Thing spaceship. You actually get to see what it's like inside the Thing. It gets really action and adventure, but you fall asleep after all this really long-winded snow-felt story.
Yeah, I remember it being pretty dull while I was just watching it, and that's why I've tried to sit. I refused to go see it in the theater when it came out. And every time I tried to watch it recently in the last like 2 months, passed out 30 minutes in and woke up the Huskies bouncing in the snow. I was like, all right, this is it. I think that's happened to me 2 times.
I've done the same thing because I don't remember anything about the movie, but I remember the Husky running through the snow. feel like I did the same thing. I fell asleep half hour, woke up at the end. Well, all right, guess I might as well watch the thing now.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to go out of my way to like watch it one afternoon.
Maybe
It's not
start
even-
like 40 minutes
it's not even
into
on
the movie.
streaming. It's only for purchase. I see it. I can't even watch it
Oh,
on streaming.
it was
right
on
now.
Tubi like 2 months ago, but I think they
Well,
took
it
it
doesn't
down.
seem-
Yeah, they took
unless,
it down.
Unless it's just not listed. Maybe it's.
Yeah.
It might still be on Tubi, but I don't see.
I mean,
it on,
again,
like,
I
Just
tried
Watch
like
or
2
anything.
months ago, so that's probably why
Yeah.
it's not on there anymore. But yeah, that's a bold choice. The Thing prequel, reboot, remake, whatever it is.
I stand alone here on this hill.
Yeah, probably. I mean, listen, I'm sure there's people that love it.
You know what? Too, I see a lot of negative reviews as well. You said people kind of like it. It's a 2.8 on Letterboxd, but I see a lot of the negative reviews are upset. Like, let's watch this, and then here's a remake. Oh, I'm a remake apologist, and this was crap. And it's like, this isn't a remake.
It's
morons.
a prequel, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a remake.
And they
An
try
awful
really
remake
hard to
of a
make it
classic film, and it's riddled with flaws. It's not a remake, you asshole.
Did you watch it? Did you watch the
Yeah,
movie?
like, did you get to the end? Maybe they never made it to the end.
I think that's the problem. It was I don't think it was marketed as a prequel, if I remember correctly.
Shitty trend that they have.
The Thing.
Taking a movie and yes, Scream. There's two
Halloween. There's 3 of them.
It's so fucking stupid. Like, why?
Yeah, they should have called it something else. Yeah.
Especially because they're purposely marketing it toward the younger audience that doesn't remember the original ones. So I get that's why they're doing it, but it's like, you're making them think that this is what the first movie was.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing itself is a remake, so it's not. I mean, that's the weird thing of people holding it as some sacred thing. That I'm not going to make the argument that the Thing from another.
But even
world
that's a different title.
But,
They even changed the title in that because it's a remake, but it's still a completely different movie.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that it's like an alien in an Arctic thing, the movie's completely different. Like there's a woman, one of the lead characters.
Yeah, I was about to say that there's a female character. Yeah, which there wasn't any women in the original. So
you do have one woman in the Thing, and their way of giving tribute to the one woman in the original screenplay is the chess voices computer is Adrienne
Barbeau, right? That Kurt Russell's hanging out with and drinking, right? If I remember.
If you think about it, considering what we were already talking about, the woman in the original Thing from Another World, right?
Yeah.
Yep. That woman is essentially the Ellen Ripley of the movie. She's a woman who, if they had just fucking listened to her, none of this would have happened.
Oh, man.
If they had just listened to her and closed the goddamn door, they would have been fine.
I do love that they used John Carpenter, at least going, well, the Thing prequel tries to do it, but John Carpenter's was a little bit more unique. They used the same title card, and they ended up using, I believe, trash bags to kind of get that effect over them. And it stops where it begins to say "From Another World," and you got that cool white flash in the screen. The sequel, remake, prequel, whatever people want to call it, attempts to get that vibe, but I do think too it's one thing that is unique about the film. It is very much poignantly John Carpenter. Like John Carpenter's all over the movie, from the score, the direction, the loneliness. He tends to have a very like Robert Bresson style lonely man lead character, which no one can do like Kurt Russell. All around it's bold to say there could be anything better, but I think that's the mistake most have with the 2011 film, is taking it as a remake. It takes place like a fucking 6 months beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't even say the name of the director, so that sums up the movie. We can't even name.
Write it on my arm, and it would have been my whole arm. That I'm so sorry. I would love to see more of his films. I possibly have, but this
might have been the nail in the coffin for him. Who the hell knows? Yeah,
he only has 2 others.
This might have been it for him, man. I think this was the one that did him in. So, all right, last film we're gonna be talking about. My final pick. And once again, piece of shit. I'm not gonna even. Defending my films
higher rated than Blair Witch 2, though.
Yeah, yes, not as high. Oh well, no, you're right. It is higher than Jaws: The Revenge. So, Jaws: The Revenge is the bar right now. That is the bar.
I have two movies that I wanted to discuss that are both just as low as that. we will be doing.
I want to
episodes of
find a film lower than Jaws: The Revenge. I want to.
Oh, I'm sure I could
this.
find.
I've watched quite a few. Spit on Your Grave, Deja Vu is lower than Jaws.
But yes, my second pick and the final film we'll be talking about. Halloween season's around the corner. I was going through. I have a list on my letterboxd of Halloween films that feel like the holiday, and they're the perfect films to watch during the Halloween season. And I think this film, and this is my defense why I chose it, I think this film is perfect for the Halloween season. It's a perfect if you want something new that you've never seen, even though we alluded to it earlier, this is not easy to find in good quality. But the film is The Hollow.
That to say it lightly.
Yes. There's no
to put it lightly.
Yes, you have to get this on DVD to get, I think, a decent quality version. But the film is The Hollow from 2004. Now, this was a TV movie, and from what I could find online, it was ABC Family is where it premiered, or yes. I think that's the kind of that was like the whole thing with it.
That was the premiere. It wasn't made for that, but that was the premiere.
I mean, I don't think this was getting a theatrical release.
No,
by the looks of it.
No.
And there's a couple of interesting things about this movie that when I break down briefly here, very briefly, what the movie's about. So The Hollow takes place Sleepy Hollow. And the Headless Horseman comes back, obviously wants to cause all kinds of murder and chaos. And it's happening during the town's annual Halloween haunted hayride. The only person that could stop the horseman is a descendant of Ichabod Crane. His name is Ian, and he just so happens to be a teenager. The guy's like 16 or some shit, or 17 years old. So you got a young main protagonist is a teenager, and Stacy Keach is the other supporting guy who's trying to help.
The real selling point of this movie is Stacy Keach.
Stacy Keach is the best part of this film. I'm going to say it right now. Him and his
Kaylee
shitty pirate accent.
Gotta have some love for Judge Reinhold here.
So do I. Oh, I've got the list here. I've got the list of actors because that's another amazing thing about a lot of character actors in this film. So yeah, Stacy Keach and his shitty pirate accent. And he constantly calls, which I love. He calls the main teenager, Ian, teacher. Every time he sees him. He's like, teacher, where's teacher? And he goes, ye has little faith. Like he talks like a pirate or whatever. I don't know what I forget what that dialect is. Do either you guys know?
Elizabethan or something like that.
There you go. That's a good way of articulating
somewhere
it.
Between that and Gaelic.
Yes.
Somewhere between that and Irish drunken sailor.
For some reason, Stacy Keach's character it's 2004. He still talks like this for some reason.
In Sleepy Hollow, New York.
Which is, I can confirm, this is not Sleepy Hollow. This is some other town they found. It's great. It's very scenic. It looks amazing for the film.
Or it is like Canada. It's one of the two. That it's
probably Canada.
More than likely.
It's got to be some place in Nova Scotia or some really old town in Georgia or something like that. That it's not. It's not New York.
It's definitely not Sleepy Hollow, New York.
Yeah, I'm not from New York, and it's like that's not what any of that looks like. That's not right. That's not Sleepy Hollow.
I can confirm Sleepy Hollow does not look like it's depicted in this film. Yeah, maybe in the cemetery, but the rest of it, not so much.
I don't even think the cemetery, the Sleepy Hollow cemeteries are all like 300 years old.
Yeah, I don't even think they look like
those
this.
Graves, like the graves in the Sleepy Hollow, look like if you touch them, they will crumble.
Yeah. So you mentioned the cast of this film, which it's crazy, just kind of some of the actors in this. So you mentioned Judge Reinhold. Is it Kaylee Cuoco? Cuoco. I never watched The Big Bang Theory. I don't know anything about that show. I just know that's what she's from. Like that's all I
like
know
The Big
about
Bang
her.
Theory. I watched all of The Big Bang Theory. I liked it. She was the main draw of that show.
Yeah, Bazinga.
Besides being
Right there.
besides being drop dead gorgeous, she was actually really good at it.
I've never watched a single minute of that show.
I don't think you'd like it much. I don't think it's your kind of.
I only,
humor.
you know, when I've watched it right before wrestling goes on, they'll play like in the last 5 minutes, and I'll be like, "This show is not for me."
No,
for whatever
I don't
reason.
think it is.
We've got Nick Carter, Backstreet Boy guy.
Oh,
Ga-
fucking doing his worst Eminem impression.
Yes, it's horrible. He is terrible in this, but it's kind of amazing because his performance is so bad, but you can tell he thinks he's fucking crushing it. Like when you watch it,
He does. He totally thinks he's killing it.
Yes.
Like, it's bizarre that we had a Mario Van Peebles movie, but he's going like full Marvin Van Peebles. He's doing like exploitation accent the whole movie. It's slightly uncomfortable at times. Of like, that seems a little
terrible.
What are you doing, buddy?
I think he was like, "Oh, Sleepy Hollow, New York. I'm gonna try a New York." He's definitely not from New York. I'm gonna try for like a tough guy New York accent. Nah, bro, it's not working. Sorry.
Wild if no one told him no. Like, not one person on set was like, maybe try something else.
No one's from New York. The director was not from New York either, probably.
This was completely shot in California.
There you go. That makes sense.
Was that an era where you could not talk back to a Backstreet Boy? You just, he had some power, I guess. His character is very weird in this movie.
Strange, and he survives, which is bizarre. He could have died several times, and he makes it out.
Remember our deal. You make me a hero. Yes, that's right. I'll tell everybody. You was a hero.
He is a hero.
He is a hero. I wish they had cut his head off just for the hell of it.
Dude, it's so horrible. Some other characters, some other actors, character actor. You have Nicholas Turturro from like big Spike Lee guy. He was in Jungle Fever. I think he was in Do the Right Thing as well. He's the sheriff, the cop that doesn't believe Stacy Keach, and he gets his head cut off.
Related to the other Turturros?
Yes,
like
he is. Okay. Yeah. And then Joseph Mazzello, who plays Tim, Jurassic Park, the original Jurassic Park. He gets murked in like 2 seconds in the beginning of the movie. It's bizarre. It's weird casting that they were able to get all these. Not that the Backstreet Boy is like this big actor, but it's still a Backstreet Boy in 2004.
He's trying to be. This might have been why he's not a big actor.
Yes.
He was giving it the good old college try more than he ever had before, I think. But
dude, his chase, he has a chase scene in this where the horseman's, he dresses up as the horseman to try to prank the people, on the hayride.
Yeah.
And he's getting chased by the horseman. He's got like football pads. He's running. And this is the scene I think you guys are all alluding to. He makes it to the bridge. All Sleepy Hollow, Headless Horseman films do this where the bridge is sort of his weakness. He can't cross it. So he crosses the bridge.
Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah. He crosses the bridge and he's like, "Yeah, horseman, suck my dick," or something along those lines. Like, it's so stupid. I don't think he says suck my dick, but might as well.
There's no cursing in the movie.
No, there's no cursing. Now, the reason why I enjoy this film, obviously, Halloween. I think, in my opinion, someone who watches a lot of Halloween themed films, and the whole show started, Haunted Hangover was, created because of Halloween. I think it's got great Halloween vibes and atmosphere. The hayride is fantastic. I love the elements of him telling the story and going through different kind of, like, he talks about a bride that died, I think, on her wedding night. And then he talks about the Headless Horseman and all that stuff. I think it's great. The decorations in certain scenes, it feels, for the most part, like it's the fall, like it could pass, even though it's California. Leaves don't change.
Have the fall.
Yeah, leaves don't change there. But
well, as we saw in John Carpenter's Halloween, you can make some fall come to Los Angeles.
Dare I say, John Carpenter's Halloween did a better job.
Yeah, they did.
Yes.
They did. There's no dare you say.
Yes.
100%. They did.
But nonetheless, kind of, it has Are You Afraid of the Dark, goosebumpy vibes because of the made-for-TV aspect of it. I enjoy it. It's a guilty pleasure, bad movie, but I think it's fun. Judge Reinhold playing the sort of complete opposite of what he normally plays. He's usually like the nerdy dude.
Yeah, he's a jerk.
He's like
of
a
father.
jockey, jerky father, which I
yeah.
appreciated that he kind of switched it up for this.
Yeah.
It's something completely new territory for Judge Reinhold. So I dug that. And I honestly think the lead actor, who, funny enough, I did not write him in my notes. He's probably one of the more unknowns, the supporting cast.
I didn't like him at all, actually.
I didn't think he was that bad. And I thought Big Bang Theory girl was pretty good in this too.
Yeah.
I like it.
I wrote in my review that she in this is like Sharon Stone in Deadly Blessings, where
Yes.
you can tell she's going to be a star. Like, she doesn't even do much, but she's so good in the scenes, so much better than everybody else, other than Stacy Keach. Of course, Stacy Keach is fucking untouchable. I'm sorry. Stacy Keach is phenomenal.
Oh, he's on another level. I don't know what the level is, but he's on
a
another
different
level.
movie.
Yes.
He was making a different movie. But like she's doing so well. Like, you could tell she was going to be a star.
Yeah.
You know, she wasn't going to be like the rest of them did shit.
Yeah.
It's clear why she. Yeah, it's clear why she became a big star.
I dig it, man. I just like what they were able to do. You know, the Headless Horseman and Sleepy Hollow has been done to death, especially if you think 2004, the Tim Burton film had come out a couple years prior. The animated series, everyone knows. There's been a bunch of other Sleepy Hollow inspired horror films, but I think this does a good job at sort of making a contemporary take on it. Yeah. And the Horseman looks kind of cool from what you could make out on the shitty pixelation on the YouTube version. I do have the DVD somewhere. I don't know where the hell it is. So I watched it on YouTube recently. But it's like a demonic pumpkin skull face, basically.
What's really funny too is when I was looking this up, I was just looking up little things. Mike, I don't think he's in the chat anymore. I think one of his first reviews on Horror Society was this movie.
Amazing.
Like, I found a review that he wrote back in like 2007 for this movie, and he enjoyed it for the most part. He's like, it's terrible, but he liked it.
It's a solid Halloween film. Like, it's not Trick or Treat. It's not anything like that. Or The Guest that we joked around. You know, we joked about The Guest earlier.
Surprisingly, I liked it.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I didn't at first. By the end, it had grown on me. I also watched it on my cell phone at work, so the shitty small resolution worked in its favor. So watching it on the little phone improved it. Then I put it on here early. Oh my God, I can't see shit on my TV.
It's horrible. It's terrible. But you can watch it. It's available to be seen.
That might be a testament for the film itself, that it is very hard to see, and we all, I guess, have admitted to watching a bootleg of this very same film, but that being a statement upon the film itself, it's fairly entertaining, despite the fact that there are scenes. I tried to watch this on a over 70-inch 4K TV, and there were just scenes where it's completely blacked out and digitized.
Yeah,
like it's not translating from the 283 60 pi that it's been uploaded at 14 years ago. But it's a fairly adventurous, fun film that I think up to like, I don't know, 5-6-year-olds, like it's a fun Halloween film. It is, with your goal, Louis, of a film that actually encapsulates and experiences of Halloween. It feels like a Halloween movie. This would be delightful to watch in September, October, to prepare yourself. You could have this on while trick-or-treating.
Exactly.
It's a fun film. I mean, that's no honest movie review. It's fun, but it legitimately, my review of the movie was rest in peace Nick Carter, because I mistook him for Aaron. So
his dead brother, foul.
Rest in peace, Aaron. I am so sorry. Bad joke. I'm gonna go delete that Letterboxd review. But I enjoyed the experience.
No, it makes sense because this killed his career.
There you go.
They had that one really cool Backstreet Boys video where there was like a werewolf and hot suit. That was it. That's fuck. Sorry, jeez. Everybody gets one. I even got one. I'm in one of Manny's movies. Everybody gets one. That was it, Nick. You tried. You did your best. You know, you're no Johnny the Pizza Boy. I'm sorry. What can you say?
I do say that one thing too. Like you said, it premiered on ABC Family. You know, and then this was the DVD version. So this and this was highly edited when it went to ABC Family as well. There was a lot of stuff cut out, a lot, like all the beheadings were cut out, and a lot of things. So I do wonder, because in this version, there is very clear nipple.
So
there is legitimate nudity in this. So I wonder if there is more that they cut out before even like this might even be edited a bit because there's not even any cursing.
may be
There's no
two
swearing. In
I have a
this.
theory, and again, I don't think anyone's diving deep into the Hollow.
No.
I feel like when they were in pre-production and prepping to make this film, it was supposed to be like a PG-13 film because it's weird. There's that random couple that get killed, and it's like they just tack them. They out of nowhere. They have dialogue. We've met them.
Connection to any of the story.
It's
nothing at all.
Yeah, they have like a weird almost sex scene, like you said, little nip.
Yeah.
Then he gets beheaded and you see it. Well, as best as we could see it because of the quality. She gets killed. When the cop gets killed, you don't see it. You see the aftermath. So I think they went either while shooting, they shot gore, and were like, maybe we can add this in if we get a physical release on DVD where it can be R-rated. Because
I swear this is the type of stuff that Vinegar Syndrome is going to put out on 4K next month. Like,
dude, I'd be all for it.
They found all this footage in a dumpster. They're going to restore it. It's really
$47 slipcase in a slipcase
I'm buying
with a lenticular slipcase.
If they re-release, which this needs to be re-released,
honestly,
in my
I
opinion.
would buy it though. I'm not even trying to make fun of Vinegar. I would buy it.
I've actually added this to I have a letterbox list of horror films that need restoration. This is on that list.
I would 100% buy it.
I think it's an underrated Halloween movie. Like you people talk about Night of the Demons and all the kind of ones Halloween, all the Halloween films, Trick or Treat, the 80s one and the new one. No one talks about the Hollow.
It really was.
No one talks about it. And like some effort went into making it feel like a Halloween film. Again, the Hayride, Big Bang Theory girl. She's literally in her costume the entire finale, basically. The
hottest ghost I've seen. Oh,
the last half hour. Stacy Keach killing it. Literally, he is on another planet in this fucking film. Teacher, ye doesn't understand. You must defeat the horsemen. There's vines growing on Ichabod's tune or whatever.
Mary in the chat said she watched it last night and she enjoyed it.
Listen, it's stupid, but a fun stupid and a great Halloween film. I feel more people need to watch this. More people need to put it on this Halloween season. Just look it up on YouTube. Now, there is another film called The Hollow. It's not that one.
There's a couple films called The Hollow.
So make sure you're watching 2004's The Hollow and Backstreet Boy. If you put that in there, AI will figure it out because he is on the cover. His name is on the cover of the film. It's so good. I'll defend this till the end of time because I do think it's a good movie. And I really do hope someone restores this because I watched it on YouTube, which I don't like to watch bootleg rips of films, but I do own it. It's back there somewhere or in one of my old DVD books. I just couldn't find it, so I had to watch it on YouTube. So forgive me, Halloween gods, for watching The Hollow on YouTube in really poor quality. But yeah, more people need to see it. More people need to watch it. You won't regret watching The Hollow. See, even both of you guys enjoyed it. I didn't think Manny would like this, and he enjoyed it.
You've been talking about this for months about wanting to just keep like, oh, fuck this, fuck. And then I put it up. You said, fine, we're going to cover it. I looked it up, and I was like, Stacy Keach and Kaylee Cuoco. All right, fine.
And you enjoyed it.
She's in another old horror movie that I have the DVD of that I haven't watched called Killer's Game. That was an old one that was in all the bargain bins and shit. And I've had it for years and I keep wanting to watch it. And then I finally realized a few years ago that she was in it. And I'm like, okay, I just had it randomly. You know, remember that bargain bin is like $5.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I'm going to buy this. For $3, I'll buy this. I got a lot of movies like that. And she happens to be in that one. I need to watch that.
It's like very early. And if you're a Big Bang Theory fan, there you go. Watch The Hollow. That's another reason to watch it, I guess. Yeah. All right. We've been going long. Let's wrap this bitch up. Before we close out the show.
Killer Movie was the name of it.
Killer Movie? Never even heard of it.
Yes, it's called Killer Movie. It's literally a TV movie director thing.
The original title. Good.
Yes.
Gets to the point.
Gets to the point.
Yeah. No, it's literally people being killed on a movie set. So that's why it's called
Nice.
Killer Movie.
Oh, but yeah, we'll start with Hank. So we're gonna start with you. We'll start with the guest this time. If you had to pick one film that's not one of your own picks, out of Manny and I's, the 4 films there, which one's your favorite? Which one did you enjoy the most revisiting, or are curious to check it out if you didn't get to watch the full thing? See, it sounds like you watched all these movies. So
Going with me is, I guess, the bummer because it'll always be Book of Shadows. But if it wasn't Book of Shadows, it would be Jaws for the Revenge.
really,
Wow.
you're
I,
going.
I didn't have
Wow.
any problems with I Spit on Your Grave 3. It's encouraged me to watch the rest of the remake series. Jaws 4 I haven't seen in admittedly quite some time. And then just Book of Shadows is phenomenal. I'll die on that hill. It's a great film. I love everything about it.
I think all 3 of us are going to die on that hill
Yes.
together. We're going to get used to each other.
I can give you points of why I think it's
Buried
great,
together.
but also like nostalgia reasons. That's something that's very important to me. It's one of the movies I would dare say is a movie that made me. It piqued my interest in deeper horror films, different music, different actors. I gained an appreciation, I think, for outsider art by watching that film because Blair Witch was so out of the box for me as like a 13-year-old when I saw that film. This next movie really appealed to me. So I love Blair Witch Book of Shadows no matter what.
I love how his pick is Jaws the Revenge, but he still went. He went into Book of Shadows 2 more than anything.
I gotta do it. But
There's not much to listen. There's not much to say about Jaws the Revenge. I get it. Listen, I'm right there with you.
I mean, maybe the Michael Caine action is something to go back over. 2 different versions is fun. I love that there was enough film that there is a whole version of the movie. And it's kind of fun in that aspect because there's a whole group of people that have seen this movie and have no idea Mario Van Peebles dies in another version. So that's kind of fun. That I do believe Doom Generation podcast actually has covered this on one of their previous episodes of just the fact that depending on how you saw the movie, it's a completely different ending, and it's fun. That again is it's a bad way to review a movie, but you can hate it all you want to. But if you want to spend a fun Saturday afternoon watching Jaws: The Revenge, it's not really a waste of time. That would be the ultimate sin for a film to be boring or a waste of time, and by no means is this a boring.
It's not boring at all. All right, Manny, which one you're going with?
I mean, Alien 3, come on. I'm sorry. Alien 3 is phenomenal. I love that movie. I do not for a second understand what people don't like about it. I truly don't understand. I've had people argue it and I'm like, nope, I don't see it. I don't see what people hate about it at all.
British phobia.
I think it's a total maybe
Possibly
a very solid movie. I think that in its pacing and tone, it went back to the original Alien. It's more in tone with the first film. You know, it's got that slow, depressing, stuck in the middle of nowhere, isolated space feeling that part 1 had. And I think it was the perfect way to make 3 movies. You had Alien that gets ramped up, and then you have Aliens, which goes way off the fucking deep end with the Space Marines and everything. And then we go back to isolation and one alien in Alien 3. You know, and it wraps up the whole Wayland Yutani storyline as well. It literally gives an ending to everything they started in the first movie.
Yeah, it's a fair trilogy. I mean, I love the Dark Pictures of the movie.
I agree. You know what? I don't want my answer to be cop out because you articulated that beautifully, Manny. I don't want to pick Alien 3, so I'm going to pick The Thing.
I was going to say, but I'd say The Hollow would be a close second. Like I did enjoy it.
Yeah,
no, I didn't. I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's just like he said. He's like Blair Witch is the obvious. Alien 3 is the obvious answer, but if it's going to be The Hollow. I enjoyed it. I was surprised that I enjoyed it.
I think that was the shock.
What was the last one? What was the last one we watched? What was the last one you made me watch it? And I want to kill you for making me watch it. The other Trick or Treat movie, the Satan's Little Helper.
Satan's Little Helper.
I was expecting that piece of shit.
Really?
I was expecting another piece of shit like that.
Oh, okay.
Like, to hate it as much as that.
I think in the future we might have to do a full episode diving a little deeper into The Hollow. I think it deserves a full episode one day. Maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll be revisiting it 1 year.
Well, the thing to do is everyone that's watching this or listening to it at any capacity, live or in the future, tag your favorite boutique label and say, hey, I heard about this on Haunted Hangover and I'd love you to release it. Go tell Vinegar Syndrome, go tell Severin, go tell everybody else you want this movie to come out and you heard it on Haunted Hangover. Let them know.
We'll see what happens. But yeah, I didn't want to pick, like I was saying before, I didn't want to pick Alien 3 because you just picked it and I was like, that'd be redundant. I'm going to go with The Thing, and here's why. I do want to see it. I do want to sit through the whole thing. I really would like to.
I want to see it now.
I would like to, like,
You
just
made
to
a
say,
good case.
yeah, like I just want to try.
I'm gonna
and
try it
finish
again
it.
too.
What's
I'm
fun
gonna
is
try
when you
it.
get halfway through the movie, then like pause, get yourself a drink or something, and then Google the
break, wake
practical effects. Like you go look up what you could be watching and go, oh shit, I'll keep
Take a
going.
It's a movie I can't put on at like 2 a.m. while I'm
Take
on
a
the
break,
laying
do
on the
some
couch.
jumping jacks, wake yourself
Yeah,
up again, and then
no.
start up again.
This is a like.
If you don't smoke, try some Zen, something, cup of coffee, then go back to the second.
Exactly.
Our fault.
It's one of the movies I have to, like, when I wake up, I put it on and watch it with my breakfast, because
And
if I put it on,
ruin the first half of your day.
yes, I can't put it on at the end of the day.
Day's not getting any worse than this.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, I'm gonna try. I am intrigued. Again, they had a haunt. There's some people that like it. Obviously, he enjoys it. So for me, I would like to get through it. I would like to get through it one day. So I'm gonna pick it just because that reason, because I would like to finish it one day. I would like to, like you said, the axe. You see why it's in the wall. I don't fucking remember that, so I obviously haven't got to that scene yet. Nope. So gonna have to give that a watch for all the Easter eggs and stuff. So I'm gonna go with The Thing out of all the films. I
might just make it easy on myself and try to find like a cheap Blu-ray of it somewhere and just buy it. Just to have it.
I'm sure it's either like $49.95 on Amazon or $2. It's got
there's no middle ground.
No in between there.
No middle ground.
Oh,
it's a
man.
Walmart bin or it's Vinegar Syndrome price.
One of the two.
Not even out of print.
A collector has it on eBay for $307.
No, man. But yes, those are some horror movies we love, but most hate. Hank, Harry, Death by DVD Man, all the names you have.
There's a few.
Yeah, it's just
Jim Jones.
Jim Jones.
The People's Temple, all that and more. I am the chosen one.
Where can people find you in Death by DVD? All the places where people can find you.
Easily at deathbydvd.com, but everywhere podcasts can be found. And we've got a couple special newer programs that are available on YouTube. Death by DVD's Trailer Park, which is a trailer compilation that features a funky intermission each time with all of your favorite drive-in retro snipes and movie bumpers. And then Blast from the Past is again, I love compilations. Some people don't like them. Old commercials. I'm putting together reels of Kenner, aliens, toys, weird toys from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and more. We've got a parade I found from Syracuse, New York. From 1993, all sorts of stuff and things. And of course, if you'd like to support directly, it's patreon.com/deathbydvd, where there are some all original programs, tape rip, VHS theater, and more. You also can see Death by DVD, the original cast and crew, also featuring Alexander Nash, the Linus Fitness Center, and a bunch of fun stuff. We've got 16 years of content. Just Google Death by DVD, you'll find us.
Check out all of that man's stuff. Like he said, 16 years. Goddamn. That's a lot of hours of shows and videos.
We haven't worked together on a bigger level, but I'm also in Dark Tales from Channel X.
There you go.
Manny and Lindsay Serrano. I'm Johnny the Pizza Boy. It's my claim to fame right there.
I'm gonna have to get you one of my movies next. I have to just stick you in there somehow.
I'd love to deliver a different type of food and a different maybe I'm doing Chinese this time or something.
Yeah,
maybe.
And in the grand line of Haunted Hangover co-hosts, I think that Hank definitely wins the grandest beard of them all.
Yes.
That is.
I should have gone high def with it, but it is
all the bearded weirdos that are on this show. He definitely takes the cake.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't had a big beard like that in a while. I've been the porn stash is where I'm at in life currently. But yes,
he's He's in his FTR period.
I'm in my my Tom Selleck period.
I was throwing it for a roll and I did end up getting the roll, so I figured, fuck it, let's see how long. Let's just go. Let's go more human than human.
There we go. There we go. But yes, thank you again for being on the show, dude. I'm glad we finally got a chance to do this after so many years. So
it is years in the making, and it has been phenomenal. I'm so excited for this to come out. If people didn't see it live, watch it later. It's been a real treat for me.
Definitely have you on again in the future. It sounds like Manny's already prepping us to do one of these again. Yeah, we'll get you on again, man. We'll get you on in the future. But yes, be sure to subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Blue Sky, all that good stuff at Haunted Hangover. Head over to hauntedhangover.com where you can find links to everything, including our Patreon page, where you can gain early access to our other episodes, bonus content, and so much more. Rate and review us. It'd be greatly appreciated. And as always, remember, the best cure for a hangover is
more booze.
Catch you guys later.